All right. Welcome to the Bard of All Trades podcast. I'm your host, Brad the Bard. And today I got the Gypsy man, the best hands in the league, Earl Trouble Small in the building. But before we begin, I just want to give some shout outs. Art of War Cage Fighting. Earl was just commentating for them, which was pretty awesome. So they're a really cool sponsor. If you guys have never seen cage fighting, what are you doing? Get out there. Check them out, man. Also, Rose Hunter Productions. If you need your jiu-jitsu filmed, you need any sports filmed, MMA, you name it. Rose Hunter Productions, they'll take care of you. Also, Valley Jiu-Jitsu, if you're in the Boyertown area or the Blandon area or the Berks County area in Pennsylvania, they have some excellent jiu-jitsu. You just mentioned the Bard, you get a week free jiu-jitsu, all for me. And then darklegacy.net, if you like horror, creative writing, and sci-fi, all that cool, crazy stuff, check out darklegacy.net. Vidinian over there putting out some amazing content always. Additionally, we got Saga Jiujitsu in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. If you guys want some incredible competitive jiu-jitsu with all the thick boys in town, you go over there to Saga Jiujitsu and get some good training. Mention me, you get some good jiu-jitsu in all day. All right. Sorry, man. I had to run through that.
Nah, dude.
Unscripted. But yeah, we got Earl Trouble Small in the building, bro. So was this your first time commentating? We were both at Art Award 33 here this weekend.
I've done a few shows.
You've done a few shows?
For some different events as well.
Yeah, man. This weekend was wild, man. I think like the matchmaking has been getting even better. Like it's better every time. I know it's super hard to do that for like debut fights. Yeah. But man, like tons of these went the distance and stuff. What was your favorite match of the night?
I like the young kids.
Yeah?
I like the young kids. And something I had spoke a lot about is how good they're getting. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite. They were all, like,
no doubt.
I'm so deep into the sport. I love to see the technicality of it. But when I see a young kid coming out here, 18, 19, 20 years old, and something I spoke a lot to Bob about is these kids are so confident. Here I am, like 18 years of jiu-jitsu. I'm going out and fighting like, whoa, like, you know, there's repercussions if I don't perform.
Yeah.
These kids are coming out like they're in the UFC. I'm serious. What was it? Ethan Mercado.
Yeah, Ethan Mercado, heavy hands.
Yeah, well, even his fight before that.
Yeah.
I think they were both like 17 and 18 in the last event, like really young. The Joey Milano and Cade, I don't know how to pronounce their last names.
Cade Barardelli.
Yes, Barardelli. Like, I'm on Cade's Instagram and I'm looking at like his fights, or excuse me, his training camp.
Yeah, man.
His shit looks like mine. I'm like, yo, I'm a pro. You know what I mean? He's got like training videos. And
yeah, them web guys don't play, man.
Dude, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is what, his third amateur fight?
Yeah.
My third amateur fight. I might have been on MySpace, like putting a picture up afterwards.
For real.
And he's getting promo training videos. And dude, it's wild. It's so cool to see how confident and like how far the game has came in the time I've been a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, man, that Cade Barardelli versus Joey Milano was insane. The mat returns from Joey, like I was just saying, I was with Eddie Alvarez doing like the fight companion. I'm like, dude, I'd be so demoralized after 3 of those, and he just kept doing it. That shit is wild, dude.
There's worse things, I guess. There's worse things, I guess. I mean, then again, there's not.
Yeah,
because like it's crazy. You get knocked out, you can say like, yo, I got hit one time. When you're getting out grappled, you're conscious the whole time, and it can be miserable. Like, if you trained with somebody who's better or even like a bigger person, it's miserable to get smashed for 5-15 minutes. It's not fun.
Repeated rounds, too.
Well, what's your excuse, too? Because, all right, I got hit. Damn, I got knocked out. Okay,
yeah.
It happened.
It happens.
I dipped when I should have dodged. You're getting out grappled the whole time. It takes something out of you. And, you know, they're both young anyways at the end of the day. But something I had talked to Bob during that day is, look at all the wrestlers that performed. Like, I think the state of Pennsylvania's rules are kind of biased towards wrestlers. And all
for the amateur, I 100%.
100,000%. And you know what? There even needs to be like, if you have a decent amount of wrestling experience, you might have to go straight to advanced AMI or fight some kind of better dudes.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, let's look at a guy like Joey. How many wrestling matches, has he probably had in his entire life? Right? If you started when you were a child, 4-ish, 5-ish, like me, I did jiu-jitsu and wrestled. Thousands. And then you got a guy who went to their local MMA school, trained for like 2 years, did 6 to 10 grappling events. Now you want to do MMA? You can't compare. Talking about thousands of matches and against amazing dudes. Something I used to tell to Andre Petrowski when I would corner him. Like, man, I'm getting a little nervous. Normal. Everybody gets, man, all right, I'm about to go out here troubling. So as a coach, I'm looking at him like, dude, if this was a wrestling match, would you beat this guy? Yeah. If this was a grappling match, would you beat this guy? Just fucking smit him. Okay. This MMA fight in Philadelphia. This is a grappling match with 1 minute, not even 30 seconds of striking. Think about it like that. And that's what you've seen this past week. And all Dre's fights, go out there, you throw a few punches, wrestling match.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the wrestling match? You understand? So I was talking to Justin too. What learning experience is that for somebody who doesn't have that wrestling experience? You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know, what experience are you getting? We knew Joey's a good wrestler or somebody else is a good wrestler and the other guy isn't. It's just a overhyped wrestling match at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It kind of becomes that. So
for the amateurs, you're saying.
it really does. Sure. It takes a long time for somebody. I think the first thing they need to do, they don't have to become a better wrestler. We're going to keep using Joey as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
We
it
don't
was
have
a great
to
match.
Yeah. Well, that was the most significant one out of all of them. There were a lot. Francis and Liam was another example.
Yeah, man. Oh, that knee bar. Francis
that was nasty.
overcommitted it. And I
That was
feel like
nasty.
that's where if he really wanted it. I don't know. It just like from my angle, it just really looked like he wanted specific things and he lost the match because he couldn't get what he was hunting for.
I think he was a little too passive as well.
Yeah, because he got good striking. We've seen that in the last couple fights.
And I think he landed some strikes.
Yeah.
But again, that goes to show wrestling. Can Liam beat Francis in a wrestling match? If it was just jiu-jitsu, maybe even. You know what I'm saying? If he had to just point him, yeah. So that goes to show how powerful like wrestling can be, especially as an amateur. But what I was trying to say is you don't have to become a better wrestler than a Liam or a Joey. You just have to negate it enough to use your other tools. So maybe in a year, 2 years, 3 years, if we do a rematch and they have enough grappling to negate it, you get a whole different fight.
Yeah.
And you say Amis are like for your experience. I don't think that's good experience for a lot of guys. I don't think it's the best experience for Joey because we knew you could out wrestle people. What the experience he is getting is like me as a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I regret not taking more fights and different fights because I submitted everybody in 30 seconds. And something I knew I could do. My coaches would tell me, win. If you can win, do it. But now as a pro, I got 4 amateur fights. One went further in the distance. I still finished the fight, but as a pro, I needed that harder experience, deeper rounds.
Yeah.
Than just going out there getting a 2-second submission. I didn't get to see what it felt like to dig deep, to even get hit.
Yeah.
I went years without even taking a punch until like later in my career, I finally got punched one time. I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. So what kind of, you know what I mean? That's an interesting thing. And something.
Did you compete in specifically striking at all before you went the MMA route?
No, I started it. I did always train like Muay Thai with a lot of different instructors. Yeah. But no, I was, and you got to understand this is a different time where stylistic matchups and fighting was more prevalent. Yeah. Meaning like, okay, grappler versus striker. And it was even in the pros and UFC was still kind of a thing. So I would consider myself a jiu-jitsu guy and in my mind think, well, this is what I'm good at, and I can still be just a jiu-jitsu guy. There's jiu-jitsu world champions in the UFC right now, so I can still put my eggs in that basket. So I did train striking, but not like I do now. Yeah. Which is, again, another fucking, we can't tell the future, but it's a regret I have of not spreading my eggs in different baskets.
Yeah. No, I feel that, man. And like you brought the UFC up, so the Ultimate Fighter, I heard you're thinking about throwing your hat in the ring for that, man. Tell me a little bit about it.
I think it's looking pretty good.
That's awesome.
I had an interview with some of the producers. I think before a lot of other guys did.
How's that process work? I'm curious. Like, what's like the enlistment process for that?
I don't even really know.
Yeah,
I don't.
Because you have a promotion agency, right?
Yes. Yeah. My management agency, Jason House, Iridium Sports Agency. They're one of the biggest ones in the world. They put a lot of dudes through Contender Series, UFC, Ultimate Fighter. So they had got me an interview with one of the producers, and essentially he kind of asked me simple questions. We talked more about my life than like fighting. Yeah. They didn't really say, hey, what's your best move? You know, what techniques do you like? They were like, what got you into fighting? Who are you as a person? Why do you like fighting? So we just ended up talking about a bunch of crazy gypsy stuff. Yeah, I think they loved it.
Yeah, no doubt, bro.
Like, I don't think these guys that interviewed me had martial arts experience. So they really were just like, what's a gypsy? And then I told them crazy stories, and they were like, whoa. Like,
That's so funny, man.
yeah, so I think I might be on the show.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
The
Well, tell me some of the things that you mentioned during that interview that like popped out to them. I'm curious.
Oh, man. All right. First, they asked me what it was. Like, what is it to be a gypsy? And I kind of explained it's almost like a nationality with no nation. If you're Irish, like you have ancestry from Ireland. Italian, same thing. Mexican, same thing. Mexico. Gypsy, really the technical term of it is a Roma, and I'm a Romani child gypsy, which means that my descendants come from the United Kingdom, kind of like Tyson Fury.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you about him.
Yep. So we're very nomadic people. So even though they may have spent a few generations in England, they wouldn't necessarily say like, "Hey, I'm English."
Yeah.
Because they have a whole different culture. A lot of them definitely don't obey the laws. They don't believe in government. They travel from place to place.
Nomadic.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, in their wagons. They have their own language, their own culture, different, not very different foods, but different things that they do and different beliefs.
Yeah.
So I had to explain to them slightly. I only had so much time of what that is. They wanted me to speak the language that I speak, so I spoke some language. And
you say what's up in like for gypsies.
How you say what's up? Sholanon.
Okay.
Sholanon.
Sholanon.
Yeah. So, he had asked me how I got into fighting. I said, I am a gypsy, and a lot of bare knuckle boxers or fighters in my family. My grandfather, I got old pictures of him fighting.
Mm-hmm.
My father would get in a lot of street altercations. And he's like, "Oh, so your dad does MMA and he's a pro fighter?" And I'm like, I wish. I said, "Nah, my dad's a criminal." And they were like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, my family. I don't want to delve too deep, but my family's nuts.
Yeah,
cousins, uncles, they're crazy people. When the day does come,
I'm
gonna have a podcast telling them stories because I got a lot of content.
Yeah,
but
man.
right now, I don't know. They're not. Some of them stories gotta wait a little bit. They gotta cook.
Yeah.
But when the day does come,
invite me on that show when you start it, because I got some hacker shit stories to tell and shit like that.
Nice.
Too.
I like that stuff. I like that. Yeah, but I think the process went pretty good. Yeah. I had sent them what is called a pilot. So we were on a reality show called Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding.
Nice.
The producers loved my family because they're crazy. We were getting in fights and like beating up hotel rooms.
Eccentric.
Crazy, right? And they were like, "Dude, we can make a TV show out of just your family, like this fighting stuff." And it was called The Fighting Smalls. I have to send it to you.
Yeah.
I got it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So the producer came to the house, similar like this. They put up the pilot on the television show. The pilot gets sent to different television stations like Discovery, TLC, MTV. The production companies that like it invest money in it. The producers make episodes. So we're watching this pilot, and they're like, this is property of Firecracker Films, whatever the production crew was. I lay down like on the floor and kind of take my phone out, and I recorded it. They didn't know I recorded it, so I got the whole entire pilot. I'm gonna send it to you. It's like, it's going to put you in kind of a perspective of my crazy ass family. It's violent. People fighting. Cops are getting called. Some old stories are being told about shootings and crazy, like wild stuff.
Yeah.
I had sent that to the producers because at the end of the day, like, I'm a martial artist and I can fight.
Yeah.
These guys want reality TV.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to know I'm experienced with it. They had asked me, they said, well, some people get on the tough and they're kind of like, oh, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I miss my family. And some people thrive on it. And I'm like, yeah, I thrive on it. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
Putting the microphone and the camera in front of me, I like that shit.
Yeah. Well, you were just mentioning to me that you used to live stream gaming and stuff as well. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like conversation. I like humans.
Yeah.
I like talking to people. I like meeting different people. I like that.
You're very charismatic. I can see.
Yeah, that's a big thing. All gypsy people, if you start to be my family and my dad and stuff, we can talk to anybody. We can fit in any room. I don't know. I don't feel uncomfortable in front of people.
Yeah.
And it's something we thrive ourselves on is being able to socialize. It's an intelligence almost.
Yeah.
Some people
absolutely.
Some people can pick up books and do X, Y, and Z. Or you said you run a lot of hardware, your internet.
Yeah,
stuff that you do.
my home network's pretty fancy.
Yeah, we have an ability to read body language and facial expressions and vocal tones and some things that people don't really see. Some people call it street smarts, or I guess a more technical term is social intelligence.
Yeah.
And I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Definitely.
It's a fun thing to do.
You you follow any of these like psychology guys like Jordan Peterson and like Simon Sinek at all? They talk a lot about stuff similar, kind of like that.
I'm more like I watch podcasts all the time when I'm falling asleep. So if there's an interesting one or they got an interesting clip, I read or watch it.
Yeah.
I don't follow every single JRE one. Every single.
For real. You got to skip over some of them. I used to be like religious for like a chapter of like 60 episodes.
If there's a guy I really like the Tyson Fury one, some musical artist, I watch their whole episodes.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, I watched the whole episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm the highlight guy. There'll be some YouTube channels that have highlights, and I'll just get the pick and choosing.
I gotta get better with that.
Yeah, that's important anymore now, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I think the new generation's so addicted to just quick hits of like, oh, what was the highlight of the thing? And I was born in the early '90s, so like I'm more of a I like to focus on one thing kind of thing,
right?
Kind of guy, you know. And it's hard to, because I also like I'm predisposed to like just scroll on Instagram, but I have to like fucking throw my phone away.
Yeah, it really is addicting.
Yeah.
To me, it's like food. Like eating food and digesting it is a whole process to nourish your body, but you just remember when it's in your mouth and what it tastes like.
Yeah.
So the most important part is when you're swiping is that first initial hit. Whatever you ate, you remember what it tastes like. You don't remember I ate my breakfast today and it's giving me the ability to speak. Doesn't have the same kind of hit.
Yeah,
so,
I feel that.
Yeah, you better get the chopping up, get the editing.
Yeah, for real. I gotta hire a guy. I'm building the team. I'm building the team up. But yo, let's hear a little bit about the jiu-jitsu stuff, man. I want to know about the background. I've been watching the balance guys. There's a balance school right over here. I actually started training at with the what is it called? Northern Cross or something? North Star Academy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's run by a gentleman by the name of Jackson.
Okay.
It's a pretty good program over there, man. It's a very nice gym. And they got a MMA fighter in there by the name of Paul that fucks me up every time.
Paul Sims?
I believe it's Paul Sims, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he's been around for a while. Tough dude.
Yeah, he's fun. He's a very fun
nice
role.
guy.
Every time I see him, I'm like, yo, like we do like a couple rounds because he's a very, very fun role. But
a little strong motherfucker.
Oh, he's so fucking... Dude, he does this weird thing with the Von Fluke. He'll trap my guillotine arm when I try to guillotine.
Yep.
He keeps it, and then he'll get into like we'll go through multiple positions with my shit trap. I'm like, bro, you're setting it up, and I can't even get out. It's so funny. It's like definitely his bread and butter. I always ask him like, how the fuck do I avoid that? But yeah, giant shout out to Paul Sims.
How do you avoid? Don't roll with him.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna not roll with him.
Right.
He's too fun. But yeah, so super fun over there. But I've been learning a lot more about the balance guys, and I've been kind of like we both know Brian, so I knew of the hierarchy and the system over there for a while, and it seems like you guys have some very like the jiu-jitsu is solid, right? But I'm curious, like how did the MMA get so good? Because we're also seeing that you guys are delivering like so effectively.
I've been around for a long time, 18 years in this community. I wrestled before that as a child, but I started jiu-jitsu when I was 11. 29 now, so I have seen balance studios. There was a time where I don't know, it was bigger and even crazier.
Yeah.
Where almost, I don't know, I can't explain it. So there are guys maybe you might be familiar about, but kind of pioneered balance MMA and almost MMA in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Guys like Anton Burzen, Tim Carpenter, Tim Williams. There's so many to name.
Yeah, Tim Carpenter
Waylon
definitely
Lowe.
rings a bell.
There's these guys who were like in Bellator and UFC at the time, but I don't know, this might be in the early 2000s, maybe maybe like 2008, 2012, something like that. And I guess at the time they would all flock to balance studios when the school called Maxercise kind of became balance or shut down. I'm not sure exactly the story of it, but they would flock their way to balance because Phil and Rick Migler-Reese were like it. My
Yeah.
instructor Rick McLeary is the man. He beats the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at jiu-jitsu. He still beats me. He still shows me stuff. I'm like, dude, you're making this up. How did you think of this? So when people want to get good, they go there. And back in the day, this was a different day. This is a different time. Sundays. And anybody who's an OG in the MMA community, Sunday afternoon at Balance Studios was insane. I'd be a little kid. I'd do the grappling part. I wouldn't really spar. That shit would be scary.
Yeah.
I would do the grappling, and then I would sit off and I'd watch. I've seen people get knocked out, blood, nose broke. I've seen my instructor, Tim Williams, get his nose broke in a sparring session from Anton Berzin. Like, get his shit pushed to the side and, like, oh, damn, oh, shit, my shit sucked. And Anton Berzin walked up and be like, come here, let me help you.
Oh.
Snap it back and then keep sparring.
That's so wild.
Me and my pop would be sitting on the side, like, mouths open, like, what? Blood would be getting pushed all on us. Like, it was just a different time back. And you'd still do spar hard, but not, for the most part, not like that.
Yeah.
They were still learning.
Yeah, of course.
And
like you said, they're pioneers, right?
Yeah, it was just a whole different time. I think actually.
So this is the 302 spot, right?
This is Balance Studios.
Yeah,
this is Center City.
Yeah.
This is Center City Balance Studios at their old spot. It was right by Temple, I believe. So I actually think that back then it was more MMA based, like than it is now. I think Phil and Rick, as they kind of progressed and got older, they're more into just. Rick has actually told me out of his mouth. I don't want to speak for them, but he has told me out of his mouth he would rather teach a nerdy lawyer dude than the jacked MMA guy. Like, he gets more enjoyment out of taking a nerdy skateboard guy and making him a beast other than the retired football dude who's already jacked. And he finds pleasure out of it.
I have some questions on Instagram I was going to ask you, and one of them was very close to what you just said. That's super funny.
That's something that had resonated with me that he has said. And I think Balance Studios has become more of that. Yeah. There's a lot more casuals and competitors. But still, if you want, like, really good grappling and to learn from them dudes, I think that I'm proof. I think that everybody has learned from them, and it's proof that the Miglerese brothers are, like, the ones you got to go to get the best jiu-jitsu training. And it's proof in pudding. I don't even have to name the guys that come from that lineage. They're monsters.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. So, like, do you think they're, like, because I've been in gyms most of my jiu-jitsu career where it's been pretty much just jiu-jitsu focused. And then, like, occasionally they'll have, like, a boxing class that'll maybe phase in and out. And, like, I've dropped into a bunch of places and tried, like, Muay Thai, but I never took it too seriously. Boxed a little bit before I started jiu-jitsu seriously. But do you think there's more casuals in jiu-jitsu than any other of the martial arts that you've seen? I'm curious, from a guy who's a pro MMA fighter, like, what have you seen along your journey?
There really is.
Yeah.
And some schools make rooms just for that. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, I think that jiu-jitsu is so popular, and this is a very controversial thing. It's something I talk about a lot, and I'm glad I get to talk about this. Jiu-jitsu has become such a huge thing, right? Yeah. It's like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's a flip phone, you know what I'm saying? And everybody wants a piece of this money. Every company, IT company wants to make the next phone, the best phone. So everybody wants a piece of this pot in jiu-jitsu. And it has become, there are a lot of schools, I think, and instructors that say, I want a safe place for people to come here and enjoy and learn jiu-jitsu and have fun. That is very sweet and beautiful. Yeah. But me personally, I don't completely think that is what jiu-jitsu is. This is my opinion. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu was, to begin with, a crazy Brazilian dude going to town and beating the shit out of everybody and saying, I'm the best. Yeah. And then eventually Gracie's like, yo, we can make some money off of this. You understand?
100%.
And I think as an instructor, you have an important job to keep jiu-jitsu dangerous. Yeah. And it's cool to make money, but that should not be your priority.
Yeah. I think personally, man, like, I really gravitate toward competitive gyms. As someone who doesn't even compete that much, like, I just love the environment that is within a competitive gym is something where everyone's getting after it, and you just see.
Yeah, I agree.
It just makes me feel like I'm not doing enough, which is a good thing as someone who's like, I have kind of like a hustling mentality with like all the like the music and everything that I do. I'm always like looking for that, and I feel like more than anything else, I can find that in a good competitive. Like,
I agree.
Even like if I train like MMA, I'm sure I could find the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you learn the most from that environment.
Yeah, you're forced to.
Yeah, some people feel uncomfortable with that, and they want to become a bigger fish in a small pond. So they may gravitate to a more, I don't know, a chiller environment where we do my shrimp drills. I get my stripe at the end of the month. But I always thought that the jiu-jitsu community was getting away from that karate McDojo mentality.
Yeah.
But some people see that money and they're like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
So I would make the argument, and this happens with every culture. I'm a big hip hop fan, so like with hip hop music and rock and roll, with cinema, they kind of exploit these things. They exploit 100%. The cultures. And I'm so animate, like it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I almost want to just sit here and call people out, but I can't do that.
Oh, you can do whatever you want, bro.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I will do that privately.
Oh yeah.
I will do that privately. I'm that type of person. Like, hey, buddy, I'm gonna be honest.
We'll do that over a PB&J later.
No, not even with you. I will say this to whoever I think that is face. I will say, I think you're a culture vulture.
Yeah.
And I think that you're destroying something that I love and that changed my life and that can impact the lives of so many children.
I can comment on this a little bit myself. So like, we were on the topic of cinema. So I was a huge like Marvel comic books and like cartoons fan growing up.
Yeah.
And I think the way that they're kind of just pandering to like different cultures to try to get, I think they're just trying to get money out of people.
How
it's legit.
How much can they bleed it?
Yeah,
you understand something
real.
That really might have meant so much for you and influenced your life, changed your life.
Man, I just ain't a fan anymore.
Yeah, and you just,
I'm not gonna pay to see it in the theater anymore.
No, they made a whore out of it.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I do
Well
see
said.
that sometimes. I see that sometimes in the jiu-jitsu community, and it hurts me. It does. Like, some people say, "Oh, Trev, just be quiet," or just focus on you. This is something I love and something that made me a man. You understand? Forget these title belts. Forget my black belt. Or I guess not that, because this had shaped my future and my destiny to become a man. We wouldn't have this conversation right now. So many conversations, so many people I met would have never came about if the culture wasn't the way it was, if jiu-jitsu wasn't the best martial arts. And it happened from violent-ass Brazilians choking people and beating the shit out of them. I'm not saying there isn't a place for your casual lawyer or doctor or mom and dad to try to learn a little bit of self-defense, but you can't sell them delusion and to think that if they're not competing, if they're not wrestling very hard, that they can defend themselves. And essentially, you're selling snake oil to a family and pretending that they can defend themselves when they've never been struck, they've never been punched, they've never been in a situation where they're getting beat. If you've never really experienced that, I'm sorry, your shrimp drills aren't going to help you.
Yeah.
You need to be in the gym getting beat. You need to wrestle that tough guy, that tough girl in the school that makes you feel uncomfortable. Because if you've been in a real street altercation, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's something my instructor Rick it's way worse.
Yeah.
So
it's way harder, way faster.
Well, of course, and it takes you by surprise.
People don't realize it. Like I came from rough neighborhood coming up as well. I think that's probably why I gravitated toward doing more. I think like I started jiu-jitsu because I wanted to be competent in a street fighting situation to defend myself.
Yeah.
And now I just fell in love with the game. You know what I mean?
It is a very addicting.
Yeah.
Because it's like chess. You feel me? It's a game. It is a game.
I love chess.
We were talking about fighting games and stuff, right?
100%, dude.
It is a lot like the fighting games. It's way more complex, but man, it makes me angry because I think that some instructors, they want to be, it's about themselves really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sensei and I'm the guru here and I have all the answers.
Yeah.
Or like I like my bank account.
Yeah.
But
let me ask you this, just as a general rule, if someone's looking to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what are some bad signs for like their first trial at the new place down the street? Like what should they watch out for, in your opinion?
Okay. Well, there's the obvious ones like gym cleanliness.
Of course, yeah.
I think that places that have different kinds of people, so like different cultures, you go in there, you see men, women, children. I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a healthy environment to me.
Exactly. If you just see like one type of person or just men in there or just jacked motherfuckers in there, whoever fits the instructor stigma, that's not very good. You understand? If I'm a big jacked Moroccan guy and my whole class all Moroccan dudes, and you come in and you're a Japanese dude, you understand? That might not be the place for you because I'm building that environment.
Yeah.
As an instructor, I should be building an environment for all shapes, colors, sizes, genders. I think that's big. Something that's not talked about a lot. I don't want to go over the obvious things like I guess I did say gym cleanliness, but look at the competitive, and it's hard because they sell snake oils, but look at the competitive history of your instructor. Are they going out? Are they still competing? Are they still learning jiu-jitsu through whoever their lineage is? I'm always trying to learn from my instructor, Rick McLeary. I'm busy,
and
but
you are a black belt.
Yeah. Oh my God, I still want to go up there. You understand? I didn't get a black belt from them guys, and then I'm going to the bank. Like, let me go open up my school, and that's it. Some instructors I know have black belts for 10 to 15 years, and they just stop training. What are you teaching? Yo, the game's changed, my guy. Yeah. The game has changed. Yeah. And you're not
every season. There's a new meta, dude.
Yo, and you're not even rolling. Yeah. You're not even, like, staying up to tune grappling. I know blue belts, purple belts, that's going to smoke you, my guy. Bad. Like, really, and embarrass you. And at the same time, in the same breath, you're selling, like, learn to defend yourself. Learn from me. Work very hard. Why'd you stop working hard? If jiu-jitsu has influenced your life for the best and changed your life, why'd you stop? Why aren't you still learning? The black belt, I think I heard this from John Danaher in a podcast the other day. It's like, don't set your goal for black belt. That's too low.
Yeah.
You remember seeing that?
Lex Friedman.
Yeah, that was it. And he's like, that's too low. And I'm not quoting him exactly, but it's like, set it way higher than that.
Yeah, like that's a very easy goal, like bar to set. Anyone could do it. It's like not a high tier thing to get. That
comes from the old karate stuff. Like back in the day, karate, get a black belt. And like, we're trying to get away from that, be progressive. But not to get off topic, we're talking about things to see in school.
Yeah.
Your coaches' lineage, how active they are.
Yeah.
And also if they're in the community. Like if they are going to tournaments and they are coaching all the time, I go to band practices for my students. I go to orchestra, choirs, stuff, for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm going to every jiu-jitsu tournament. I'm going to every super fight. Like, I think that some instructors don't want to go there. They might be busy, but I think sometimes they get insecure because the game's passing them by and they think they can't offer to their students what they really need.
Yeah, right. Where like maybe they have like a diamond in the rough type of situation, and like you see that where they try to hold that kid in their system, but that kid like is outgrowing the environment quickly.
Well, let's talk about that too. If I'm not an insecure instructor, I'm gonna let my students train wherever they want.
Train.
Yeah,
I encourage it.
That's
absolutely,
another point,
man.
Go and experience different things. That's like being a parent. And that sometimes parents can hold kids back. Like, don't go over here to talk to those people. Don't go on that vacation. It could be dangerous. Like, encourage your children to go explore the world and meet different people and try different cultures, try different food. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. At the end of the day, like, our job is to make them better people. To make your student better, you have to continue to grow and be better. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot like parenting. I'm not a parent, but I have parents. And it sucks when your parents try to tell you to do shit that they don't do.
Yeah.
That's horrible, right?
Like, even my father, like, oh, never smoking.
Bro,
like,
yeah. Like, what are you saying? It makes you want to go do it.
Hypocrisy,
like, yeah. It makes you envy them a little bit. Like, come on, bro. But you will respect them way more if they were living a healthy life and doing that. Yeah. So it's a lot like parenting. And speaking of parenting, I teach a huge kids program.
Yeah, no doubt.
I guess this will tie into a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are like, how do I get little Jimmy to get better? How? Little Jimmy's not like Johnny. Johnny's winning tournaments and stuff. That influence of parenting is huge. I'm only a coach for an hour of the day. You're a parent forever, 24 hours a day. So I got some parents who drop their kids off and they're outside like smoking a cigarette. Like, it's babysitting time. Those kids aren't as good as little Johnny, whose dad's in the back doing warm-ups, getting ready for the next class. Same thing as being an instructor. I'm telling my students, hey, let's go compete at this Naga and keep pushing. If you do good, you'll get a promotion and we'll keep on to the next one. Try a harder division. And I'm also fighting. And I'm at the same time, once I'm done teaching, I'm going to do my workout. Or I just left Philly and drove to Delaware to get another workout in. It's a lot like parenting. Again, I'm not a parent, but I have parents, and I understand the influence that it can have. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is a business at the end of the day, but we're not selling ice cream. We're not selling hot dogs. We're selling fighting.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys get insecure.
Yeah.
If your hot dog stand closes because you ain't selling enough hot dogs, whatever. If your students ain't good, it's a reflection of you and who you are as a person. Something I tell my students, I say, whoever you are on the mat is who you are in real life. If you show up late, you don't really train that hard, like you got bad hygiene on the mat, you're not a good person. If you're in here grinding and working hard, you're a dude I'm gonna trust around my kids. You're a dude I can trust with some money, or if I had to ask you a favor, like you are a reflection of who you are on the mats.
Yeah. 100%, man. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
That's amazing advice and stuff, bro. So you said like you're running the program over there. What's it like? I'm curious, like, where did you make the decision to like start teaching? Like, did you get your black belt and you started doing that, or you kind of started that like earlier, like purple?
I had dreams of going to the UFC and being a fighter. I did always want to teach, actually.
How early was that? Like, when did you know you wanted to do this for a living?
All right, let's
You
get
said
kind
you
of deep
started
here.
at 11, right?
Yeah.
That's early, dude.
Yeah, and this is in 2008, so I was one of the first children. I would compete a lot at the tournaments. I would see Amanda Leve, Danielle Kelly, some other guys who weren't around anymore, but they were really big studs at the time. And we were like some of the only kids growing up and competing at every tournament. So I had thought I was crazy. You know how you'll see successful people say, like, I always knew I would be something, or I knew I would be successful. I just had to work. As a kid, I thought I was destined to do something. I thought I was destined to be great. And I thought I was destined to be in jiu-jitsu. This was like what I had manifested, at least, or to say. I had manifested this jiu-jitsu. Nobody in my school was like I just broke free of the matrix. Everybody in my middle school, high school, they're living their life. I'm learning jiu-jitsu. This stuff is crazy. I'm beating up adults. I'm with the adults. You know, every sport, if I went to go in the NBA or play basketball, I'll never be on the court with LeBron or Michael Jordan at practice as a kid. I'm on the mats with the dude I'm about to watch fight in Bellator. And I'm watching Tim Carpenter. I was just training with him. You understand? That was such a huge influence to me. So I idolized them dudes. And I wanted to beat them guys because I thought they were the greatest people in the world. I thought everybody else was like living the wrong life. You know, you going up, I don't know your experience through school, but you see there's influences. People want to do drugs or drink. I never drank or smoked a day in my life. I never did a drug, ever even tried one. And it's because I had this mentality that, like, I was influenced, number one. The guys I was around, the jiu-jitsu dudes, they were living healthy. Yeah. I'm in class with a gallon of water in middle school and high school, drinking, getting ready for my competition. So I was enlightened.
Yeah.
I was hugely enlightened. And
yeah, they led by example, like kind of like not even on purpose, right? They're just doing what they need to do, and because you are in that room, you're vicariously getting the path.
Yeah, yes.
That's beautiful to hear that, man.
I'm learning, and I didn't know it at the time that, you know what I mean? I'm getting influenced.
Yeah.
As an adult, I look back and I see and I understand. So to kind of chop it up a little shorter, my instructor, I had two instructors really. One owned the school. The other one taught more of the classes. As I got older, I did start teaching a little bit of the kids program, maybe when I was like 17-ish, 16-ish. And one instructor had gotten kicked out of the school. He had just acted inappropriately, was just kind of rude, standoffish, was bad for business. It was tearing up the business. So they kicked him out, and I was just a guy. I was maybe a brown belt at the time, and I'm a Pan American champion. Like, I'm doing it. So it just made sense. A brown belt was really high at that time anyways. There were some black belts, but not as many. Yeah. So I was just the guy to take over. And when I did take over, we blew up. I started a bigger kids program, adapted more MMA, Muay Thai coaches. And, man, we went from maybe 15 students, like about to close to close to 200 within a few years.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
What's like if you had to put in one sentence, like what does it take to like revive a program like that?
What I've been preaching about things people need to look for in their instructors. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I love jiu-jitsu because it's like a lover to me. Like, if you ever loved a human, because it's so much transactional. Like, you love your parents because the things they do for you, they birthed you, X, Y, and Z. You love your girl because whatever, what she does for you. Jiu-jitsu gave me life. It gave me a way to identify myself. And who knows where I would be. I come up from a very rough family. A lot of my cousins are in prison, and my uncles. My dad was the first person in my immediate family to graduate high school. And my grandpa's one of 15. Those 15 had like 15. My dad's the first one. I might be the fifth one. We're talking about hundreds of people. So I was so influenced by it. And it changed my life. I'm starting to lose. What was the question you asked me again, though?
Yeah, just like if you had to put in like a quick phrase, like how do you revive like a dying program, right?
Yeah,
and I think like what you're basically saying is like you show that you're already passionate about this, and like, I think like it's a similar thing to what I'm doing like with my film company right now. Like everyone that I'm trying to hire, like I don't know if you are familiar with one of me and Brian's training partners, but Brian's like in the company. He's the director. I put him behind all the cameras because I'm like, he knows every angle.
Yes.
He knows what people that are going to be watching these jiu-jitsu competitions want to see.
Yeah.
He knows the best angles.
Yeah.
So why would I try to find some dude at a college that's like, oh, I'm like a perfect? No, dude. Like,
not for the money.
You don't get it.
You gotta do it for the love.
I can train him on what like the technical shit, easy. He has an eye that he's spent almost a decade developing. You know, from practice.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a personal argument with another instructor. Opening up a school. I don't want to get into it, but he had asked me for advice. He said, yo, man, I'm about to open up this kids program, and I got some MMA guys, and I don't have any experience. Like, what would you ask me? And this is like a week or two before he's about to open up a school. I said, don't do it. So what do you mean? You clearly don't care enough. You're asking me 2 weeks before you're about to open up a school. How do I teach kids? You got to want to do it for free. Clearly, I can see you're trying to do this because you want to make some money. You want to be sensei guru. You got to be able to do this stuff for free. I will teach jiu-jitsu for free right now. I will lose my money. I will go work a factory job. I go hand this title in, and I will do this for free because, like, I have an integrity, and I know what this has done for me, what it will continue to do for me, and the future of the world. So I will do this for free. I'm blessed to be able to get paid to do this. I won't make $1 million, but I don't have to do nothing else but fucking choke slam little kids and teach them how to shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, school. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to revive your school, you need to take a big look at the mirror, man. Look at yourself. You gotta it's almost like beating a habit. If you were on drugs or something, if you ever had to fight drugs, I haven't, but I know a lot of people in my family. You got to dig deep if you want to revitalize your program.
Yeah.
It's your program.
Yeah.
It's your reflection. Who you are on the mats is who you are as a person.
That's powerful advice, man. All you guys take that shit to heart.
I'm giving you hella quotables for when you want to chop this up
I know,
for
bro.
your TikTok. I got you.
Words.
This shit about to go viral.
Oh, yeah, for real. So yeah, look, what I try to do every podcast. I got some questions like because we're kind of touching on a lot of them, so I just wanted to bring some of these up. I like to ask Instagram, like, hey, I won't be specific. I don't say, hey, I'm having trouble on the show. I'm like, I'm having a pro fighter on the show. What should I ask? So today we got a couple questions. Let me see what we got here. All right.
We got a Q&A. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Let me try to figure this out. God. All right. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So what are your thoughts on USADA no longer being with the USC?
I don't know. I know there will be a new one. I think it's called Clear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm against all drug use.
Yeah.
And only because as a professional, you sign a contract, and I'm really about integrity.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never done a drug in my life. That's another thing. But if I'm going to sign a piece of paper that says, I will only drink water for this fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm agreeing with this other man. I'm shaking somebody's hand. I'm a gypsy. I'm very old school. I don't believe in I believe in a handshake.
Yeah.
And once you lose the trust in a man, they have nothing else. No matter their money, their occupation. Once you lose your integrity and your couth, you're a worthless human.
Yeah.
So I believe in stricter drug policies because people, I think, are cheating.
Mm.
And they're like getting past the rules. Technically, technically you're getting past the rules, but it becomes unfair. And when it's unfair, you're taking money and food out of people's mouths who do still work very hard for that and maybe are probably more deserving because they're fair and square. They're probably more deserving to win that fight, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So
what about like it's obvious a lot of the jiu-jitsu greats right now are like on gear.
They're getting right.
What's your opinion on that? Like there's no regulation in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
And that is what it is. None of them had agreed, hey, we're going to do this only. So, man, it is what it is. I think maybe when I get to a certain age, shit, I might get right.
Yeah.
But I'm a professional. I signed a contract. I shook hands with people. And I said, I will abide by these rules and I will be a clean athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So that's everything.
Yeah.
And I think once somebody jeopardizes that, man, they need to be kicked out of the village. I don't care how talented they are or if they say sorry. You're a conscious human being and you had an understanding of this is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to cheat and steal from another man. Essentially, that's thievery. You're trying to steal, and it's really theft by deception. You're deceiving everybody that you are a jacked fighter, but really you're taking drugs you shouldn't.
Juicing. Yeah.
There's you can go to jail for that. If I was a contractor and I didn't really know what I was doing, I had to, I can go to jail for that.
Yeah.
It's theft by deception.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with it stricter.
Yeah.
I hope it's strict.
Yeah.
For my sake, because I'm probably going to fight some juice heads.
Yeah, for real. Well, in jiu-jitsu, like, you definitely will. I think it's pretty popular because there's no regulations. I think, like, I've heard someone say this to me. I won't say who it was, but they said, like, because there's no limitation against it, you need to assume your opponent is going to use it. So that is why you must use it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bro, we're humans, and humans, for the most part, will do anything to get an advantage.
Yeah.
You understand? We get insecure. As a fighter, you're scared. Again, we're not selling hot dogs. We're selling who's the best fighter.
Yeah.
You understand? I could kill you. You can kill me in this moment. That's what a tap is. So that makes you nervous and scared, and you're doing it in front of your whole family. You're getting killed in front of your family.
Yeah.
Whew, shit. Let me go to the medicine cabinet and get right. You understand? Like, it's going to make people want to get right.
Yeah. 100%, man. Great feedback. So, all right, this one, we kind of touched on this earlier. So the question is, what's harder, putting the dog in someone who picks up technique fast or teaching like someone who's like a good athlete, like to make them like have better fight IQ, I guess?
It's not black and white, I guess, but it's not black and white.
In your experience. So this is like specifically for you.
I've taught children who come in. Here's a pretty good example. When I got two new kids to come in, one has a Dragon Ball Z shirt or a Spider-Man shirt. The other one got a SpongeBob shirt. The first day, Spider-Man Dragon Ball beats the shit out of SpongeBob because of their environment, right?
Yeah.
They are attuned to violence. They're easier, I guess, to teach in the long run, but sometimes SpongeBob learns differently and can be a little bit more cerebral and can pick up information. So in the long run, SpongeBob might be able to get, Dragon Ball Z kid. I don't know. We're just using this example.
Yeah.
Might be able to one day get him, but also that it is capable for the anime kid to become cerebral and learn. It's just about being an instructor, seeing what kind of student you have. If you have a more physical learning person, somebody who just has to drill a lot and go hard a lot, or somebody who has to sit there and explain and give an explanation. Yeah. So it's theoretical. I think there's a lot of champions that are just hardworking, hard-nosed grinders. And there's also those high IQ guys that kind of change the game or just be able to. It's all theoretical.
Yeah.
To me, it's not black and white.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, in an MMA context, though, you think, like, what do you think's more popular? Like, guys who are just, like, really like, I remember I was talking to Ricky Migleris about Francis, and Francis has, like, great grades coming up, and he came to him and said, like, I want to fight. And it's like, well, you've shown that you have the grind and everything in you. You have the potential to be great at whatever you do.
Right.
If this is what you choose to do, like Ricky say, I will guide you, right? It was a great interview. I got to post it. I'm a bum. I do bad editing. But this is one of those things where it was like, that was a great, like, interesting thing where you have a gift. You have a gift for picking up knowledge quickly. It's almost like how do you put it where Like you can kind of put it wherever you want, but how do you make is it easier to treat someone like that and get them to put in that hard work and just become like a monster versus like take someone who's, you know, maybe like grew up in the ghetto and just like fighting's part of their life. They went through puberty fighting, right? Like, so they kind of just develop that way. Like, can you make that kid then like develop the ability to have a fight IQ that accelerates quickly?
Yeah. Let's look at it like this. I think you'll relate to this, and I think people who don't have fighting experience will relate to this. Maybe not, but in a fighting game, right? Sometimes you start with a new character,
Yeah.
and it's random stats. At the end of the day, what you're lacking in, you might have to improve on your stat character. So, in the long run, you just have to train a bunch of what you're not good at. Some kids may have a big IQ and be smart, but aren't very confident. And first, I think a confident kid who has no doubt, they don't think they're going to lose. That's huge in general. If you are super confident, you don't think about losing, you don't really get as nervous, and you've been in altercations or tougher things before. You have experience, you might beat the IQ kid. But again, we're talking about long term. So whenever I speak to students or especially children, I speak to their parents, I say don't ever stop. You can never quit learning and getting better at jiu-jitsu, your video game. If you don't complete the video game, if you don't complete the story mode or whatever to get your character up, you will never max out the stats. So you're going to be a shit character no matter what.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you won the beginning game because you had more power. My random character had more power stats, so he's obviously winning. I'll never be a good fighter in this game. No, you got to complete the damn game.
Yeah.
You have to complete the game because, and I'm using games as an example. I think it's a great example.
It's a great example.
Because some types of different characters in games get specific weapons and armors that in late game, we're talking nerdy. Late games are better. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it might have a harder difficulty to begin with, but in the long run, it's all theoretical here we're speaking, but it's definitely not black and white.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep. And it goes, I think, into child psychology, human psychology. And these are some things I studied in high school. I did take a child psychology class. It kind of enlightened me a little bit. And being a kid in martial arts, I would always wonder how I thought looking back and how I get better, how I obtain knowledge, where my influences were. So it's all theoretical. You just have to know the child, know the student, and pick up what things you can from how they act in general, how their parents act, how their environment acts, and their body language, things like that. How to influence them to become better, regardless of what their initial stats are.
Yeah. That was like an amazing example.
Yeah,
to be honest.
boom.
I feel like
Quote
any dude out here can like
Jordan Peterson, who? You know what I mean? What's up? Joe Rogan, who? Killing that shit. They think, I do look like a thug with my tattoos, but I think a lot. I'm a very conscious person. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. I'm nuts. I'm not who I look like. Yeah. I'm a nerd.
Yeah, 100%. I remember the first time I saw you, I was intimidated by you.
A lot of people
and then,
are.
And then I went backstage and you were just like this soft spoken, like, oh yeah, what's up, man? Like I gave you a sticker. He's like, oh, this is cool.
I do. Like I do get judged a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost a weapon to me, honestly, because people who do judge me, then it gives me an idea of who they are.
Yeah.
If they never gave me a fair chance, then I know you're a judgmental person. Yeah. Or maybe you've been hurt by somebody who looks like me before, but still, I'm a whole new person. Yeah. So it's something that helped me get through school and stuff. Yeah. I went through a very judgmental school, very preppy ass school. Yeah. I was not that. I grew up very, I grew up differently.
Obviously, right? Yeah.
So the guys that did interact with me, the women, the kids that did interact with me in school, I knew they were genuine people. Yeah. I knew who to invest my time into and not talk to the other groups.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes I call them ass-holes. Ass-holes. They just keep asking questions. Right. They never take anything with it. But yeah, no, I 100% feel that. Let me ask you, because like this last fight, so I definitely want to talk about Art of War 32.
That's right.
So we got that title. I should have told you to bring the title belt when I had Mike Kennedy on. He actually brought his belt. We had it up on the fireplace. No, it's my fault. I should have asked you to. But yeah, man, you shot some great submissions. We had two triangles back to back until you got it done. Do you get like tunnel vision? Like, how did you decide? Like, nah, this guy's gonna get fucking. I'm gonna hit him with this. Were you labbing it that week or something? Like, what made you decide that was gonna be what you like kind of you focused in on it and you got it?
To be honest, where I'm at, I kind of wanted to strike more with my last two
Mhm.
opponents because
Yeah.
I know I need more experience. I strike with a lot of good dudes in the gym,
Mhm.
but I want to do it in the cage just for to have the experience. It's a little bit different, obviously. Um, I got taken down in both fights, and it is automatic. We'll use the game example again. When a specific character you're playing against does something and you have experience playing the game,
Mhm.
do you think about what you need to do in that exact? You just do it. You either fail or you don't. And I've done 7 billion triangles. That's like, to me, this stuff that I did was kind of basic beginner stuff that I teach the kids.
Mhm.
But I've done it 900 trillion times. I didn't think about it. Once I was on my back, jump rope, he defend. It was just automatic. It was like walking down these steps right here. It was like getting up out of bed. You don't think about it. You don't think about driving. You do it. You don't think about walking. You just do it.
Yeah.
Came from me probably thinking about it a lot, and now it's just become instinctual.
Yeah.
So,
Second nature.
yeah, and I'm glad I trained hard. You know what I mean? I learned from good dudes, and I drilled to where it is instinct to do it perfect.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time.
Do you hit that a lot in the room? Like, do you figure that you're good? Like, triangle chokes is like one of your
For a long time.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
I said bed and breakfast, bread and butter.
Yeah, whatever. we like breakfast in bed too.
Yeah.
Um,
That dude was gonna have some breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
About to put him out. That shit was brutal.
Yeah, I do, and this is why. It's because
Yeah.
I started as a child, as a kid.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of jiu-jitsu, it wasn't very technical. I would be
Yeah.
on my back a lot and just get smashed.
Yeah.
I was able to establish a good guard because I was always on my back. My arms aren't very strong being a kid. My arms and legs are stronger enough to beat adults. So
Yeah.
I would find that getting triangle chokes, I would submit more people with. And when I would compete against a teenager or a kid, they weren't adults. I could choke the shit out of them. I got very proficient at it. And now I do it against professional athletes because I've done it over and over. I tell my students, jiu-jitsu is a lot like learning to write and draw. You know, I kind of start with one letter at a time. When you were in school, you learned like A. You do it over. That's drilling. A. You do it over and over until you become proficient enough to start to write words and then write sentences and to be able to write whole paragraphs, books. And that's a whole grappling exchange.
Yeah.
So it just came from drilling one thing and getting really good at it over and over and over. And I don't think about it.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. Tell me about the striking components of your camp, though. Because, like, I'm assuming you train, like, you must train 6 days a week at least.
Well, during fight camps, yeah, well, I was trained twice a day for a lot of days too. So
Yeah.
a lot. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
A lot. I train a lot when I'm in a fight camp.
Yeah. You're pretty dynamic with that. Like, I guess,
Striking?
like,
Oh, I love striking now.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, for the camp, like, you're saying, like, you don't even know the number. So, like, do you kind of, like, listen to your body and you kind of know when the gym schedule is?
I
and you
do
kinda go
have
in
an
when it's-
exact schedule, and I
Yeah.
won't miss these classes.
Okay.
But to sit here and tell you I mean, I would have
Yeah.
to sit here and say Monday I
Yeah.
go to Ed Hall's strength conditioning.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna estimate maybe like at least 10 to 14 different training sessions in a week.
Yeah.
So however you want to split that up.
Yeah.
Double session on Monday, a double session on Wednesday, a double session on Friday. The
Yeah.
rest are single sessions, one break day.
Yeah.
And I kind of asked what your question is about striking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love striking. I love learning wrestling. I'm having a lot of fun now learning striking. And I kind of use a jiu-jitsu brain and the way I look at the world now, my perception from learning
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, and put that into striking, and it's really fun.
Yeah. No doubt.
You know what? I think we spoke a little bit about it earlier. There's a lot more of an entry level in striking now than ever. And I think people are starting to realize it used to be the scariest thing in the world. Like, you get punched in the face. Oh, my God, it's horrible. If you've been punched with boxing gloves and punched, it's not really that bad. It's really not. I know there can be some brutal knockouts and crazy things you see, but we got a lot of women and a lot of kids. They're striking every day. They're not coming in with CTE, crazy crippled. Like, Muay Thai is, I think, blowing up now the way that Jiu-Jitsu blew up in the 90s to 2000s. And people are starting to realize, like, you can strike regularly once or twice a week and pretty hard
Yeah.
and get good at this stuff. From what I see, especially
Yeah.
from my gym and from social media, Muay Thai MMA is getting, or striking is getting, like, popular. Really
Yeah.
popular.
No, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I've only flirted with a lot of the striking, and jiu-jitsu is the one that I kind of fell in love with. But I'd like to learn more, so that's cool. I might have to go down the Muay Thai path. That's what Brian's doing right now.
You got to send it.
Yeah.
As the human brain, like you should be scared of things coming at you in like high velocity. Like if I took my hand, just roof it, you'll wince. You can't control that. You didn't think about wincing, but it's an instinct. So your brain tells you things that come fast at you are going to cause pain, and we might lose some brain cells. Don't do this. And it's just like in jiu-jitsu, there's things that you need to train yourself away from, like going to your belly and turning away or lifting your neck. Things you have to learn to stop doing. But your brain tells you are uncomfortable. And once you kind of learn that, like getting punched with a glove on with your teammate, it's not horrible, painful. Really, the body shots. Clean body shots hurt the worst. They're horrible. But once you do start to learn that, you do become enlightened, and things are just different. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's a lot like before you did jiu-jitsu to now. You will become more enlightened to striking, getting punched. Things are a lot easier.
Yeah.
When you stub your toe on your, when you step on a Lego, it ain't as bad.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
right.
last strike.
Yeah. It's like just another Lego.
It's a good tool to have, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
No doubt. Let's talk a little bit about, like, we had some of the fights. Can you hand me the paper from this weekend? There's a couple I wanted to bring up and just kind of ask you about specific components. Because, like, the amateur ones, right? So how long have you been a pro now?
Since 2017.
Yeah, so quite a while then. So, like, I feel like you probably have the ability to kind of dissect these, and we both were watching them at the same time. So we talked a little bit about Ethan. That was a really fun one. But this one with Kale versus Brayton Lawton. Kale Blindenbacher versus Brayton Lawton. Kale was chopping at that leg. And there's something interesting. I kind of got into a ton of chats with Eddie and just a lot of people on Instagram about it. It's like leg kicks and heel hooks are just very... Like, it feels like one of those things where, like, in a street fight, if you pull it out, you win. You know what I mean?
Underrated.
It's just one of those things. It's just really high, it's highly effective and almost, I don't want to say low risk, but just like if you don't understand how they work, you get destroyed by it. You know what I mean? What's your opinion on that match?
I think you just said it.
Yeah.
Let's use the same example we've been doing. When they introduce a new character to a game, sometimes he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's hard. You don't know the moves. You can't react to them correctly. So they've always been around, but recently they've been more effective because you don't see them a lot.
Yeah.
Like the leg lock game, people were like, it's new, and some people hate it. They don't like, I hate leg locks. You got to learn it.
Yeah.
You have to learn it.
Yeah.
And think about your experience in jiu-jitsu. You learn like shrimping to guard, armbar from guard, mounted key locks. These are the things you learn first. You don't really learn hips down for a long time or never. So think about it like that's the new character to the game as you progress. You either get to learn that character of the game and how to beat him when you play him, or he's just going to stomp you forever and you're not going to play that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you want to do?
Like, I don't play against that character.
Yeah. Kicking, that's been around in kickboxing and Muay Thai since the beginning of it, however old that martial art is.
Yeah.
So it has just become more effective because when you think of a fight, I think you think of punching. Boxing. We see boxing in America. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest. It was probably at the time one of the biggest sports in the world. I think it might have been one time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's huge. So you think of fighting, they call boxing a fight. When maybe we have a different perspective of what a fight really is. Fight is like no rules. You're getting that shit in.
Yeah.
So
you call a jiu-jitsu match a fight as well?
All of it, I guess, is a fight, I guess, with
fights.
Different rules.
Yeah.
You understand?
Exactly. Yeah, you said it perfectly right there.
Depends on what room I'm in, too. Because if I'm in a room with a bunch of guys who haven't fought, I might just be that asshole like, this ain't a fight. I'm going to show you a real fight. You know? Just to be an asshole. But technically, I guess it is a fight with specified rules.
Yeah.
It's a human versus a human. But then you got to get technical. Every wrestling match is a every judo match is a fight.
Yep.
If you get technical, then so I guess they're saying a fight
it's
with
violence, man.
Yeah,
violence against
striking.
violence. You know.
Yeah. So to answer your question, bro, you got to learn it.
Yeah.
And how it bothers me so much when some of my students or people are like, "Oh, the leg lock. I hate the leg lock." Learn the shit.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Learn it so you don't get caught by it.
Yeah.
You don't need to use it. Just
exactly
figure out the defenses.
let's say we lived in a whole different timeline, a whole different world here, right? Where you learned leg locks first in jiu-jitsu and somebody introduced a kimura. It would blow up. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate these kimura guys. That's all they do. Is it effective? You understand?
Yeah, 100%.
You gotta learn it.
Yeah.
Kale himself, let's talk about that fight. That dude's a beast.
Yeah.
And Kale, I know he's an amateur, but he's not, to me, he's not an amateur. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And it just really showed. Like,
yeah. He was nice too, man. Like he was very kind to his opponent because like you saw the winces come.
Yeah.
And
I heard his corner.
Bro, you could have swarmed him. On
His
any
corner
of
was
those.
telling him to be patient. He just listened really well.
Yeah.
I don't think he had to rush.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't need to.
No,
but
he's
if
more
he
proficient.
did, it would. I think it like he could have. Maybe he would have risked getting like into a guillotine or something.
He's
but,
a better fighter, and he did what he needed to do. Sometimes, you don't have to rush in like that.
Yeah.
It showed. I don't even think it's crazy. I don't think Kale was an amateur. I think him was like a professional because I've known Kale for a long time. And he's been around the game for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
His record don't show his skill level, and now that he's fighting dudes more his size.
Yeah.
Yeah, look out for him. He's tough.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Super nice guy too.
Yeah. I've rolled with Kale actually.
Yeah,
I
nice.
remember like because he's huge like compared to me, and like we were rolling the first time we rolled, and he's like, I'm trying to be nice to you, and then I smother him. I'm like, don't be nice to me, bitch.
Yeah, he's mad nice.
He's a super cool dude. Yeah, and like he works full time as a police officer too. So like, it's like, dude, the fact that you're training to be a MMA fighter that's like on the stage and that's your day job, bro.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Like he's a better man than me. I couldn't do it all. Like that's a lot.
It does take.
And he's a great father.
Yeah,
you know
he got a whole family and everything. My hat's off, dude. Cause I feel like I'm cheating. I'm sitting here like I got a dog.
Yeah.
I don't have a family and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I have no excuse not to work hard.
Yeah.
I see a dude like Kale doing all that. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it motivates me, man.
Yeah.
It motivates me to be better in every one of those facets. But like back to the topic of like the leg kicks, like in your experience, so like great answer for like the with the leg locks, right? But like for leg kicks, it's interesting, right? Like because I feel like a quick, snappy, like surprise one could be enough to like cause you enough of a injury to ruin the fight for you. So like what's like a good strategy to be mindful of those?
That's tough, right?
Yeah.
Because they are essentially like you can use them like a jab almost, and they're hard to see. Sometimes a good fighter won't give a reading to show that it's going to come and happen. A lot of it comes down to your stance too.
Yeah.
A lot of it is your stance. If you learn there's like kickboxing, there's Muay Thai, and they all have different stances and different rule sets. If you watch a Muay Thai fight, if you watch a kickboxing fight, if you watch an MMA fight, why it's very proficient in MMA is that you have the threat of the takedown. So you have to kind of keep a lower, more boxing/wrestling stance, but also you're kicking too. If you're standing straight up in a Muay Thai stance where you can keep, your front leg off the ground, you're probably going to get taken down. So you're just, it's a game, like we keep saying. You're playing that game. It's just something you got to be ready to counter when your opponent does that attack.
100%.
It will be easier to counter in a certain stance, in game sense, with a certain character, but then you'll be suspect for wrestling, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And that's what makes fighting so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it competitive.
Yeah. What you just said kind of reminds me of a great conversation I had with Zach Makovsky where he mentioned like every martial art that's really popular, like at the UFC level, like in the pro MMA circuit, like there's another martial art that can counter that, like the stances specifically. Like we were talking about, like, well, if I'm doing Muay Thai, I'm kind of straight up and down, which means I'm more vulnerable to like takedowns and things like this, like wrestling. So it's very interesting, like from that perspective too. So like someone that's doing leg kicks, probably like a kickboxing thing. Like, what's a great martial art to train to get around that? In your opinion, do you have anything like?
So what are you asking? If I'm a kickboxer, how to get away from wrestling?
No, like what's like a martial art that uses like leg kicks pretty popularly? I guess Muay Thai.
Karate, Muay Thai, kickboxing.
Yeah. So like, what's a good martial art to use against someone who's using leg kicks?
Man, don't discriminate. Learn it all.
Yeah, fair.
Fucking learn it all.
Yeah.
You feel me? Learn kick. If I'm a wrestler and I'm gonna fight him, I'm gonna learn Muay Thai, I'm gonna learn wrestling. Just learn it all. Don't discriminate. I'm talking to you too.
Yeah.
Don't discriminate.
Yeah.
He's gonna take a Muay Thai class. He's about to get. Next time we talk, he's gonna be doing Muay Thai.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, learn it all. And why the
Yeah.
fuck? Why are we not? Why
Yeah.
not? You're limiting yourself if you're only doing one specific thing. Do you? When we're gonna keep playing games. This is the game MMA podcast.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
When you
It's a
play
good feeling.
games, you can one trick a guy, but it also helps to be versatile, especially if you're in a tournament when you're playing games, because some characters counter other characters better in fighting games. So you can one trick a dude or have a favorite guy, a character, but it does help to be versed in multiple characters.
Yeah.
So why not learn it all? Why
Yeah.
not? And if you're not, you're just being stubborn.
Yeah.
You're like, this is my guy. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, it's like
Just-
you're gonna stagnate as
Yeah.
a result. No, that's amazing feedback, bro. But we're on the topic of gaming. I kind of want to talk about gaming though.
Let's do
Tell,
it.
tell me because we got you.
I'm
You
gonna
have,
really
your
talk
you have an
now.
active Twitch channel,
Not
right?
anymore. No.
Not anymore. But is it still up?
Man, I used to be actually at a time maybe 2012. So this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I got decent viewership.
Yeah.
I had like maybe 3K followers, something like that.
Yeah.
Which at the time was a decent amount, and I was getting 15 to 50 viewers.
Yeah.
So I was on that spot where like, oh, I'm about to start blowing up.
Yeah.
I had a nice, cool layout of like a picture of me fighting, and it was a cool thing.
Yeah.
I would play Clash of Clans and like some Xbox games,
Yeah.
basic stuff. I'm not active anymore. One day my pop was like, he's an old head, old school. He's just like, you're wasting your damn time. Like, you need to be training. You just stop playing them damn games. Looking back, I could have got to the bag. You know, I didn't know Twitch viewership was going to blow up and esports would be
For
huge.
real.
I could have said, I guess I could have seen it because I knew how much I loved games and my friends loved games. It was just a matter of time before people see they can make money off of.
Yeah.
Just like comics, just like movies.
Yeah.
There's going to be money made from it. But nah, I don't stream anymore because you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You got to.
I used to stream as well, like with the Smash stuff. I have a cool sticker for that. Remind me at the end if I don't remember to grab it afterwards, but I'll hook you up. It's like a cool bumper sticker. There are some of the nicer stickers I got made, but I was super into it as well. And we got like to the affiliate level. We would host Smash tournaments. Like my channel, we had a Smash tournament called Let Me Smash.
Oh, that's sick. I like that.
So like it was like the little bird, the like Ron the Bird. He's like, Becky, let me smash.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we'd have him coming up on the stream.
Oh,
like,
that's
and shit
hard.
like
That's
that.
creative. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did a lot of stuff like that, and it was really popular. But like it was kind of around like COVID hit, and it kind of ruined a lot of things, and that's we kind of fell off with it. But the channel is dormant. Like if I decide to bring it back, I will. But it's cool to see like the dynamic of that, and you could always go back, right?
Yeah.
Like your viewers are probably ready
Yo,
for it.
I got viewers who come
Yeah.
to watch me fight.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
Yo, shout out my boy Axel.
Yeah,
That's my dude.
let's go.
Yeah, he drives to New York every time I have a fight. Come check me out.
Yeah,
One day I was just playing Clash of Clans. He might have been a little ass kid.
yeah,
And just watching me, he's like, "Yo, can I get a base review?"
yeah,
And now, we're both adults. That's my dude. So
yeah,
it's cool. I love games. They're underrated, low key.
yeah.
Think of video games, you're like, "Oh, nerd, wasting your time."
It's
Nah,
like,
bro.
Nah, most dudes pretty much. It's a great outlet. Do you still play games now?
What?
Yeah,
Playing games when I leave.
Yeah,
Who wants to see me in Valorant?
yeah,
Let's go.
for real.
Any game. Let's go.
Yeah. So like what do you balance it? Because I find like me personally, like we were just kind of talking like you were saying you were playing Dota and I was playing League for a little bit, but I had to uninstall it because for one, like you get really frustrated with it, but it can be a distraction at times. Like for me, I try to use it as like a like I can use it as a cup of coffee, you know what I mean? Like as an energy drink, because it gets my adrenaline going. Like I'm on the edge, right?
Yeah,
and then
that's
I can
facts.
kind of get back to like what my hustle, without like having to like keep pounding coffee, because that shit can be, you can only poop so many times a day
Right.
from drinking caffeine. So like, well, how do you kind of keep yourself like balanced and like kind of keep it like without becoming an addiction? Because I feel like most dudes struggle with that.
Discipline.
Yeah.
I'm competitive. I will say I got the biggest willpower of anybody, and I pride myself on that. As a little kid, kids would go drink or want to try to smoke. I learned from my pop. My pop would just tell me like, "Yo, don't ever do the drugs." And I idolized my dad, so I thought he was the coolest guy in the world. He didn't drink and smoke. My mom, she did indulge in drugs or alcohol, but I just idolized him. I said, "You're right. All right, I'll never do it." And now that's my personality. I'm known as the guy who's straight edge. I've never even tried. I do love coffee, but I'll fuck some caffeine up.
Yeah.
But if the day comes, sometimes I wake up and I'll be like, I'm not doing it for a month.
Yeah.
Because I don't want nothing to be stronger than me ever.
Yeah.
So it's discipline.
That's 100%. Like when you identify, like if you're a lot like me in that respect, then, because like when I identify like, oh, like my brain is really telling me I can't get this done without that thing. That thing's got to go.
Yeah.
That thing's got to go.
Yeah. And sometimes it can be a good thing.
Yeah, because it like takes
sometimes
the edge
that does
off,
feel
right?
good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be like you need to make sure that it's a tool. It's just like my phone, dude. It's like I'm the master. The instant it becomes the master, it's no longer a tool.
It's willpower.
Yeah.
And I do argue with some people a lot about, and it goes into like depression or drug addiction. Like I can't speak for those things because maybe I have been upset and slightly depressed. I've never been addicted to drugs, but I think my mind can just control it. I can tell myself, I know what it feels like to be happier. I know what things I can do to release those chemicals in my brain. And if I'm not feeling well, I need to make the decision to do those things that will get those chemicals to release.
Yeah.
And it's about knowing your body. When your stomach growls, you're hungry. If you're not feeling too good, all right, are you waking up at a decent time? What have you been eating? What's your diet like? Are you exercising? Who's in your surrounding area? Are you mad at somebody? Are you and your girl arguing? Like, are you getting your ass kicked in the game? Better start training and getting better. You feel me? Whatever's making you upset, you have the power and the mindset to go out and change your life and do it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's simple, and when you put it in that perspective, but it's not. It also is hard.
Yeah, it's simple but difficult.
Yeah,
right?
There's so much fucking juices. There's so many chemicals going on here. Like, but you do, bro. I can go jump out this window behind me if I really wanted to. Nothing would stop me. You would try to stop me, but you can do whatever you want in life. You feel me? So when you put that, when you understand that, when you really do understand, you can do whatever you want. You can beat habits. Yeah, and I do have habits. I'm not perfect. I like to sleep in. I do like the game. I do like to drink a hella caffeine coffee. But, man, bet me that I'll wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Bet me I won't drink coffee for the rest of my damn life. I will stop. You understand? I will stop it. And anybody can do that. Anybody can.
Yep, 100%, man. That's
amazing.
That's facts. Let me ask you this, yo. So, like, do you do any like cold plunges and stuff like that? Yeah, you like to test your mind. It seems like you're that kind of guy. Tell me about like some of the things like that you do for mental toughness.
Just growing up. First off, growing up in my childhood was kind of tough.
No doubt.
So, like, I just had experienced some things in my life. I don't have to go deep into it, but I have experienced some things. I'm not the type to feel like I'm proud of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's just it's
part of life.
Yeah, it's part of life.
Simple so I'm not going to brag about it, but those things had shaped me and made me question the way my life is and what I need to do in my life to not feel like that anymore. And it has made me very disciplined, where now I know, like, sometimes I think about things in my childhood when I'm in a fight camp or when I'm going to go fight. And I'm like, remember what it felt like that day? Remember, like, how much pain you were in, or if you were crying as a kid? Remember that shit? Well, now here we are thinking about where we'd be in the future. Yeah. So I embody that, invoke that emotion in me, and I bang them push-ups out. You know, I go to that class I don't want to go to. And yeah, that's just important. I jump in that cold plunge, and I'll suffer myself. I'll duck my head underwater, ask my friends. I wish I had my friends here. I'm like the cold king. I'll sit in that bitch for 15 minutes. And if all my friends jump in, it'd be
that's more than I've done a lot of them.
Facts. Yeah. Well, we'll all jump in. All right, last session.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting out until everybody else is out, because I don't know. I know that is value in a man, is like how much you can suffer. How much suffering is you will translate that into your business, into your jiu-jitsu. There are people that's better than me at stuff, but I know if it came down to working hard and like eating pain, I think that's what makes value in a man, is doing shit that you don't want to do and just doing it anyways. That's just facts. Yeah. So, yeah, I love it.
I agree.
I love and hate it. I'm a normal human. I'd rather fucking drink hot chocolate and watch the Goonies, you know what I mean, on Netflix.
Real, right?
But I'll do that shit, man. Yeah. I will do it.
You like David Goggins? What do you think about him?
Again,
Corner and Tony Ferguson.
Again, I would just watch him pop up on my shit.
Yeah.
I do like some of the shit he says.
Yeah.
I'm not obsessive.
Yeah.
Over
I
any
used
of
to
them
do
guys.
when I was a white belt. I used to listen to his shit before every competition.
Sometimes that shit gets you pumped though.
Yeah, the double gold in there is from that.
Let's go. Yeah. Sometimes you'll put on that shit and he'll just be snapping in your ear.
Yeah.
But I do that in my own head.
Yeah.
Like
That's so important
yeah.
that you can turn it on yourself. It's difficult for me to do, but like it's a muscle. You know, you
It
gotta
is.
train it. You gotta train it.
Hell it is. And I tell my students this, I tell people this, you gotta talk to yourself in your head. This is big, right? Look at the best fighters to ever be ever. And I'll just name some popular dudes. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor. These dudes are like, do you think they wake up sometimes? I know it's facts that they do say like, damn, I might lose my fight or I get nervous. They state that. But do you ever see that? Never. They're like, I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest. I'm about to whoop this dude's ass. And they got to say that in their head millions of times to end up saying it so much they project it to make the whole world believe it. They make the whole arena is putting money out. Conor's going to win it. Mike's going to win this fight. So, like, they're manifesting that shit. So I tell my students, I don't give a shit. Say it in your head. And yes, it is normal to say, damn, what if I get beat in front of my family? Once you say that in your head, I cuss. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm going to win. I just delete it out of my head. And I say it 10 more times in a row. I used to have a sports psychiatrist, like a sports coach, a mental coach, Jeff Jordan. And he did put me onto a lot of great drills like this. He worked with Dustin Poirier, a lot of other UFC fighters. Yeah. And he's a black belt at my school. A really nice dude. He's actually known for being the world's tallest hypnotist. He's like 7 foot tall, and he hypnotizes people.
That's crazy.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, he hypnotizes people. But yeah, these are some things I actually did unconsciously as a kid, because I would just think I would always be in my head thinking, why is my life like this? Why do I think like this? Who am I? Weird shit. And as a child, and now as an adult, I can look back and understand. You are what you think, and that's complicated, but also that simple. If you think you're going to go and have a shitty ass day, you're going to have a shitty ass day. It's like, I believe it's called the red car theory. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Like, if you drove today, did you see a red car? You might have, but you didn't think about it. Now that we just had this conversation, think about all the red cars. You'll start seeing them. You're damn, I remember Trump talking about red cars. You'll see them. Yeah. So if you're thinking about, all right, I'm going to get my ass whooped today, or them push-ups are going to suck. When you're in that moment, they're going to suck more. But if you just like, I'm a beast, I'm a monster, I'm going to knock these out, like, you'll become that person. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a real fucking thing. It's like prayer and manifestation. Uh-oh. He got the girls calling him.
Yeah, probably.
Uh-oh, look out. Man. He got mama calling him. She's like, give me my Christmas tree back.
For real.
Are you done with your damn television show? Give me my Christmas tree.
Not yet. But yeah, that's interesting, man. I'm curious to see, like, as you grow through these things, man, like, you keep kind of hardening your stuff. Like, have you ever kind of, like, maybe you took a loss, right? Like, how did you get out of that? Like, the next, like, what's going through your head through, like, at a loss? Like, for me personally, I remember, like, even when I've won a jiu-jitsu match before, and I'm like, fuck, dude, that was dog shit. I performed like shit. I don't care that I won. I'm not what I just did. I'm better than that. Yeah. Yeah. Is that how you feel a lot of the times?
I know that there's so many different factors that attribute to how a person performs. And when I was a kid, this is legit, when I was a teenager, I would be grappling with somebody who would beat me, and it's just practice. But when I would lose, I wouldn't accept it. I'd be like, I lost because they're bigger than me. I lost because they're older. I lost because I ain't had my favorite cereal this morning. I lost because I didn't have my lucky pair of underwear on. I couldn't accept that this person was just better than me, because that's accepting that I won't be that good or whatever. So call it delusion, but it was a tool that I used to say, I can't accept people are better than me. I'm just not where I need to be at the time, and eventually I will be better than that person. I just would not say he's better. Some professional losses that I had, I have a lot of I'm a human, so there were a lot of factoring things that I had going on in my life outside. A lot of people don't know about my personal life, and I have some deep shit. I do have a lot of, I'm a human like everybody else. Everybody has their shit. So they are excuses at the end of the day. But I know if I ran it back with anybody I lost with, like nobody beat the shit out of me. And I pride myself. Nobody's outdoing me completely 100%. And if I ran it back with anybody that I fought multiple times, like it could be another 30-second finish the way I've been doing it. So, and also there's worse things in the world than losing. So if I do lose, or let's say I do get beat in practice or something, like, man, I've starved. You feel me? I had hard days. I've had difficult things in my life that's way worse than that.
Yeah.
You know? I count my blessings and I say I'm still alive. I still have people that love and care about me. I still have progressed so much from where I was a child. Like, there's worse things in the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about games. You just reset the button and go again. And your next game might be your best game, even coming off a loss. So it's whatever.
Yeah, it's part of the process, right?
Yes, sir.
Especially to make it to the point where you're at, right? Like, I foresee like great things in your future. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely tell that about you. You're destined for greatness. Like you said, man. I see that a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Well, I've lost a lot more than I won. Excuse me, I've won way more than I lost. Sorry.
Yeah,
Let me switch
on the thing, but like in the room, probably, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll bet you're the
right,
type of guy that goes. You go up to Ricky every time you see him, like, yo, let's
he beats
go.
my ass. That's
exactly.
Facts. At practice,
because you're looking to get destroyed,
right.
so you
That's
know
facts.
you can deal that damage.
Yeah. On
That's
the main
how I
stage,
feel.
on the main stage, I have a better win than loss ratio.
Yeah.
But I have got my ass kicked a lot as a kid, and Rick still beats me up.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's facts.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah,
that's a dude. He make you feel insignificant rolling with him.
Yeah.
Yo, and then at the end, like he tapped you out 6 times and shit. I'm a black belt, IBJJF, Pan American champ. He tapped me out, and then at the end, be like, "Yo, your guard was tough." Like, or you know what I mean? Like, yo, that half guard was strong. Like, man, I'm gonna take this belt off and like I'm going home. What the hell?
You don't do that to the white belts after you fuck them up?
I guess I do. Sometimes I think that.
You have to, dude.
Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do that all the time. Like I don't I like to visit a lot of gyms, and I usually don't I match the energy everyone I roll with, especially you only see me roll hard if like we've rolled a couple times.
Yeah, I don't. I'm the same way.
Yeah, because like I got to learn your body a little bit, and I'm not gonna be the one to put you out of a competition. Like I even asked him, like, "Yo, are you injured at all?
That's huge.
That ankle's fucked up. I'll go after this."
Every time I meet somebody, I ask. Yep, that's facts.
Yeah, it's just it's like an honor thing. You know what I mean?
Some people don't have that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't.
They're very egotistical, and they gotta learn. I don't know how you learn that. Some people never learn, and they're hard doing guys.
I feel
forever.
like losing is the only way, you know. Like competing.
I might aggravate it sometimes.
Yeah.
I might make a motherfucker want to go harder.
Yeah.
I grappled this weekend against some black belts who never grappled me before, and I went to balance, but they know me through Rick's social media, and the rolls that I got with them was like they was coming for me.
Yeah.
And I'm more. Man, I was trying to chill and just have a Saturday, go get some coffee after. But yeah, I do feel that. And I don't know. That's a whole different topic I guess we can speak on. Some people take every match like it's...
Yeah, even in the training room. Like in my experience, like I've heard this from a lot of really good people that like I look up to and I train with, and they say like in the room, you should be tapping. You should be like letting people exploit your weaknesses so you can study it, right? Like I'll throw myself into places where like, man, maybe I'm gonna get this out. Like people keep hitting me with this fucking Aoki lock from straight Ashi. I'm like, why does this keep happening? So I'll throw myself in it. I'm like, damn, you got me there again. Okay. I start to learn like, all right, I need to hand fight that hand.
That shit's huge.
Yeah.
And again, with this gaming, you're going to that level. You got to do it over and over and over and over until you come back. You feel me? You go into the training mode in fucking games, fighting games, and you hit the same combo over and over and over. You got to. So that's facts. The fact that you do that, this speaks volumes. Yeah. Some people don't. They got such an ego. They want to feel good when they go home and talk to their wives like, I'm the man. I'm the best blue belt at 302 Jiu-Jitsu. Like, what is that, my guy? You know, you're the best blue belt, but you'll never be a good black belt doing that. I say that to a lot of my students. Yeah. And what you do now, Brad, like how you live your life, you choose what black belt you get to be in the future. You're choosing that. I say this to my students. I say, look around. You don't want to be the worst black belt in the room. That's the horrible feeling. Like,
Shit, I feel dude, I feel terrible being the worst purple belt in the room.
yeah,
man,
well,
you know what I mean?
so there's a hierarchy, obviously, and a black belt, you're supposed to be like superior in some
Yeah.
form. You don't want to be that guy who like never tried, never competed. You know, you just punched your ticket, whatever. You signed the iPad 3 times a week for 10 years, and that's all you did. Nah, don't be that guy. And what the fuck is that anyways? Like, I said this on the way here. That's like having a 6-cylinder Mustang. You understand? When you could have been supercharged
the
one.
GT, right?
Yeah, you fuck just a GT. You could have been a Shelby. You could have been a fast one. So you're like, yeah, I'm in the Mustang. You know, we make fun of those people sometimes. You see those guys, they got a 6-cylinder car and they put a muffler on it. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds loud. You got the black belt, but you're not that good.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it's delusion almost.
Yeah.
It's delusion.
It's just like what Danaher said with Lex, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
exactly what it is.
It's like it's not that difficult of a challenge.
Yeah.
Do it 3 times a week.
How do people even get that?
Consistently for 10 years?
Yeah, how do people even get that mindset? You know, they
Yeah.
choose to do they think I'm doing what's hard.
I think it's almost like in high like in school, right? Like public school. It's just like, yeah, just get good grades and you'll make it and you'll get the American dream, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes a unique mindset and some enlightenment, I think, to even achieve a mindset where you're like, no, it's gonna take grueling like effort to get what you want, and you're gonna have to go through paths that people don't tend to go through.
Yeah. And again, that's your environment.
Yeah.
That's your parents. That's like the people around you. It's the room that you are in. That goes over everything we just said. Parenting, the room you're in. If you sign up for a new school and they don't really compete that much, your instructor don't really compete that much. If you Google his name and he don't have fights or IBJJF experience and these, you're in that environment. Picture you're like a little kid getting raised by parents that's smoking cigarettes, drinking soda, but you're trying to run marathons. You know what I mean? If you got, I don't know, an Olympian as parents, they're probably going to have you right.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be comfortable, but nothing's comfortable.
Yeah. You ever hear this quote before? Like it's not about the peak of the mountain, but the journey.
Yeah, hell
that,
yeah.
That matters.
Of course. 100%. And, you know, it's the journey that kind of determines how high the peak is.
Yeah.
For real. Like, we're talking about a theoretical mountain, but it is the journey that determines what view you're going to have.
Yeah.
You can get to the top and just look at your feet. What the fuck view is that?
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
You got a hard journey, you're looking all around. You got a 360 view at the top. And it could be a sunny day or it could be a rainy day. The journey determines what kind of view you're going to get.
Yeah. That's
facts.
hard,
Yeah,
That's
get some
hard.
of that David Goggins. What's up? Get all that.
For sure,
We're
man.
getting all the TikTok shit on here.
Yeah. Yo, so it's 3:22. I don't know how. I know you said you had something you had to do at 4.
I cut that.
Okay, word. All right, we're going to have some good time then. All right. So this is a question I always love to ask my guys.
Postpone it, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. So is there a fight, like you have a dream fight, like alive or dead? Who would you love to fight if you could fight anybody?
Damn. That's a complicated question because the truth is, like, fighting, I'm not in love with the with fighting. I love the process.
Yeah.
We talked about cold plunges. Like, I'm not in love with being in the cold, but I love what it does for me and like the man it makes out of me. So I don't idolize like being in the cage fighting with somebody, but I love to fight almost. Fuck it. If I can get a high celebrity fight or fight people, man, I don't discriminate. Anybody can get it. Something that will entertain fans, something that I will grow from, like, that'd be pretty hard.
Yeah.
I would like to. All right, here's a fun one. We'll make it fun. I would like to fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
In a real fight.
Yeah. So like I see like you call yourself the Gypsy, or he calls himself the Gypsy King, and like you're like I see like even on your Instagram you have the Gypsy with the crown. I didn't want to call you it, but like what you want to give him a run for the title like that?
Yeah. Like look, he's
bro.
like 6'7", 300 pounds. He's a big dude, badass boxer. But yo, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. What's up?
Yeah.
You got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And he'll probably say the same thing if he ever see me or whatever.
What do you think of Francis fight too? That was wild,
man. Francis whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was disappointed, man. I think that Tyson didn't take it serious. He wanted some money. And man, you gotta take that shit serious.
Yeah.
That stigma, MMA and boxing shit, man. These MMA athletes get it.
Yeah.
They're maybe even some are better athletes because they're coming from Olympic backgrounds, wrestling backgrounds, X, Y, and Z. But you got to take that serious. He might have thought he was getting a paycheck. You got a paycheck, but man,
paid for it.
I think he lost the fight.
It was a very controversial one.
It's boring as shit. Really, I think there needs to be more draws in general in all fighting. But he lost the fight. I think. But my dream fight, I would want to fight him and like some no rule shit. Like I want to say,
like some Coliseum type shit.
I mean, we don't have to die.
Yeah, we don't have to die.
I mean. I'm not trying to murder.
You're the one that just said it. Tap's killing somebody, bro.
Yeah, it is. But he knows it. He knows I could have killed you. You know what I mean? If I'm unconscious, then that means I could have died. If he knocks me out, then that means you're gonna fucking do whatever you want, take my money, whatever. So that's what that'd be hard. Yeah. Because the gypsy culture, bro, it don't matter if you're a doctor, it don't matter you're a lawyer. None of that shit really matters if you can't fight. Yeah. Being a fighting man is like that's who you. Fathers, like that's who the fathers want their daughters with, because they got balls, they got couth, like they will sacrifice themselves. Yeah, that's what fucking fighting is. You feel me? It's very primitive and archaic. So that's the highest valued thing, and it is a lot in other cultures, but that's what's valued the most in our culture. Yeah. So and for him to be the heavyweight champ, that's a huge thing. He calls himself the Gypsy King. He has bigger accolades than any other Gypsy ever, any other Romani Chaw, anything. So, shit. I mean, if I get him, then what's up? Yeah, give me on next. Shit, give me his nephew. That's an even easier fight.
That's amazing, man. But you look up to him.
Oh man, I love that dude. Like, and that's with all respect. Like, I love that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to meet him.
Why would you not want to like fight your idol to know where you're at compared to them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to train with him.
I do that in jiu-jitsu all the time. Like if I visit your gym, I'm like, you're my first role.
I don't know.
Both fresh. I want to know where I'm at against you. You know.
I don't know if he would do jiu-jitsu against me, but I would definitely box him just cause. Yeah. Like, I would train with him. I would spar with him. He probably gonna beat me in just boxing, but I don't know if he would do. I don't know if he'll put a gi on and just roll with me. Yeah. Cause I'm gonna prove a point.
Yeah. For sure, bro. Fighting's multifaceted, right? Yeah. That's interesting too. Like, so like. I'm curious, like you said, you started training at 11. I think that's amazing, right? Like I think a lot of really, really high-level athletes, even we're seeing this in ADCC, right? Like the fucking one that just won the trials in New Jersey. The kid's name escapes me, but like, it was like babies. 17. It's crazy. That's insane. Man.
Dude, we're living in a world where these kids are getting so much information, right? So all they need is a little self-belief and a little bit of hard work, and they're getting... You remember back in the day, we had to read books. I barely read. I hate reading a book. I fall asleep. But you had to read books. That was your best way of getting information. Or you sit on a dial-up computer to watch a little bit of something. Now these kids are getting the absolute best world-class stuff by 17 different instructors in a minute. Like, they're obtaining so much info. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's just up to them to use it, right?
Yeah, what I got was my instructor stuff, who was a brown belt, under this specific lineage, and whatever he had learned, it was very limited. Now you have, could we even come up with a number of the amount of hours that are on the internet of live grappling and live fighting matches? We could. I don't even think me and you could fathom a number. Yeah. For how many hours?
Whatever we say is wrong. Too, right. High or low.
Yeah. Like, the library of stuff that they can go and look through of different people is, you probably couldn't watch it all in one lifetime. Yeah. You probably couldn't.
You're right.
I think I've seen something about music is like, there's so much music you couldn't hear every song if you started from your birth to when you died, because music is just being made. I think it's like a few songs every minute is being made, so we wouldn't even be able to ever listen to it all.
Shit, man. I mean, I don't know how musically inclined you are. Obviously, I have some to me, but like every week in Manayunk, they have like an open jam in the Grape Room. I don't know how hard. Yeah, so I go every week. So we make a song every day. I love music. Every Wednesday, we make music that has never been heard before, and it will never be heard again.
That's hard. That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love music.
Yeah. It's like rolling. It's like no roll's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's like,
they say jiu-jitsu is an art. Obviously, music is art, and it's, to me, the most powerful art. Yeah. Music is the most powerful art in general to me. It can impact your life and the way you feel, your immediate feelings, instantly. You know what I mean? It can give you chills. It change your whole day. I love music. I love country music, rap. I'm deep into music.
Yeah.
I got a lot of artists tattooed
Tell
on
me
me.
about a walkout song. Like, what makes a good walkout song to you?
I walk out to Gary Stewart Rambler Man. It's a song off the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, that's always your song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Stewart he's a gypsy country singer who became a little bit famous, but he had committed suicide. He lost his wife. He's like a real artist, really lived his songs.
Yeah.
And I respect that a lot more than some like music industry buff.
100%.
So a dude that really lived his life. And Rambler Man, you know, I got it tatted on my neck. That's the life I have. I'm a gypsy. I grew up just in different houses, moving all over the place. Like, I just send it every day of my life. I just enjoy it. I send it. So that song's meant to me, like meant for me. Some people like to like, let's get pumped up, let's fight. That's cool. You know, if you're at the fight, you'll see a lot of people come out to the same shit.
Yeah, DMX.
Yeah.
Next one, give it to you. It's a good walkout song, though.
Always the Meek Mill, dreams and nightmares. Like, I used to pray for times like this, and I'm like, oh, every time it comes on, I'm like, yeah. Like again,
so
really?
unoriginal.
Yeah. You understand? Like,
Yeah.
that's a powerful tool. Music is powerful. And to me, I think music is knowledge still, for real.
Yeah.
It's another way to explore your brain and your consciousness. And I think it's one of the biggest tools to, like, learn about yourself and experiences other people have had. I love music.
Yeah.
I can talk about music like I talk about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
For real.
That's amazing.
That's my shit.
Do you play music? You ever want to, like, put out
I can jam out on karaoke.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. You rap? You write any, like, lyrics, anything like that?
Like, as a child for fun. You know what I mean? Like,
that's cool.
You be a little kid rapping in front of the mirror or something.
Yeah.
Like, because you grow up, you like it.
Yeah.
You'd be like a kid throwing shadow box punches and watching a fight. So,
Yeah.
I do love hip-hop like crazy.
Yeah.
I love it all.
Yeah.
But I think I could jam on some karaoke. Somebody might be surprised.
Yeah,
I
no
could
doubt.
sing a little bit.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, dude.
If I could stop fighting, this is facts. If I could choose a career, I'd be a country music singer.
Yeah.
100%.
I was on your Instagram. I saw you had the guitar over there.
That's
like,
you know it.
So you actually travel a ton too, man. Like
love
obviously we got the Rambler Man with the whole like nomadic like upbringing everything. So like I saw you were recently in PR. My family's from
I've been there a bunch.
Yeah.
My mom is actually Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude. So you're half.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
My mom never met her father, who is a Puerto Rican man. Like, she did a DNA test. She's Puerto Rican. She's never really met her father. I say I'm gypsy because I grew up with my gypsy family, and that's it.
Yeah.
My mom don't really have family.
Yeah, fair enough.
She does, but it's not like your typical household. So, my mom is technically, her last name is Diaz. Her maiden name is Diaz. She don't look it. She got blue eyes and blonde hair. But yeah, her father looks like Super Mario.
Yeah, that's funny as hell.
Facts.
But yeah, so you were in PR. Where were you at, man? Like, what do you like to do on the island?
Everywhere. Of course, we stayed in like San Juan because the last time I went, I was with my pop.
Yeah, so like northeast part of the island. That's where I go. That's where my family's at.
I'll go all around the island. Spent some time in El Yunque in the rainforest.
Yeah, dude, El Yunque. I hiked to the top a couple of years ago. It's very fun.
Mayagüez, which is on the east coast of the island. It's more like a college kind of beach town. Rincon, which is north of that.
Yeah,
I go all over.
Yeah. You ever been to Culebra?
Maybe.
Oh, that's like you have to take like a ferry.
Oh, that's the island off the
it's like
east
one
side
of the top 10 nicest beaches.
Yeah.
You were there?
No, I didn't go there.
Oh,
I know
bro,
you're
you
talking
gotta
about.
go. Next time you go, let me know. We'll make it. I'll come with you, bro.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They have tanks on the beach.
Oh, that's
hard. Like from like World War. I don't fucking know when they were there.
You
but
take the ferry there.
Kinda, yeah, exactly. From I think they changed it, but it used to be from Fajardo that you had to take the ferry. But there's also another island a little south of Culebra called Vieques. That is the most fun place in the world.
I'm gonna go back there. I've been there 7 times. Maybe.
Yeah. Yo,
I've been all over South America.
Let me know, bro.
Let's go. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah. There's like if you ever get to go to Vieques without me, you gotta go to Esperanza Beach because they
text
have.
Me.
Yeah, I will. I'll send this to you. But they have this pier that like it's kind of abandoned and shit, but you can go out on it and just jump into the ocean. They have like a ladder like tied to it, like you know it's ghetto, like but it's like you just jump into the water. It's so fun, dude.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Just do flips and shit.
I'm scared of heights though, but I'll be doing it.
Yeah, you just do it, dude.
Yeah.
You're with that mindset.
Yeah,
You see someone else do it, like, all right, I can do it.
Funny story about Puerto Rico and El Yunque, they were cliff jumping or whatever.
Oh yeah.
There was an instructor. You can pay to get a tour or whatever. We just went there on our own. But the instructor was like, all right, we're gonna jump off this one, jump off that. This one you're not allowed to jump off. It's too high. He gets up there and just swan dives off, right? And he gets off, and like my boys are just chatting it with him. They're telling him like I'm a pro fighter. I was with other professional fighters too.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, pro fighter, black belt. Yeah, I train. He didn't really train, but he's like, I know I train with this person and I do this. One of those guys.
Yeah.
They don't really do it. They don't really.
Those guys.
So he's trying to have a dick measuring contest with me, and he's like, yeah, well, you won't jump off that cliff. And I'm scared to death. I swear to God, I'm scared to death. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Long story short, I jumped off. I did jump. Yeah, and you can bet when I landed in that water, I came up, I was in his face like, what's up? You know what I mean? Yeah, I did that shit. Like, I'm glad I did it though, man.
Yeah.
I like to test myself.
You gotta push your limits, man. Like, especially like, there's some dangerous things like jumping into water specifically. I won't do it unless I see someone else do it, and I'll jump exactly where they did.
Yeah,
to make
that's
sure
important.
I'm not hitting a fucking rock. Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah,
and
I know people that have died doing it, like from my high school.
That's
so
horrible.
I don't fucking. I'm careful.
Jumping in the waters, I can do.
Yeah.
Although, man, I'm not parachuting. I'm not jumping out of a plane. My mom be doing that shit.
Yeah.
She did it to me.
Yeah.
She invoked this trauma into me as a little ass kid, bro. She put me on this like ride at Dorney Park, whatever. She's like, oh, it's a nice slow ride, whatever. Until I got on it, and that motherfucker brought me up. She's like, it goes up really fast, and then you get to see the whole park, and it comes down slow. There's
the
two
Dominator.
of them. Yes, that's what it's called. That's what it's called. She tricked me, and I'm on the one, right? But nah, it didn't go up fast. That shit said tick, 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 tick. Went up slow, and I'm like a little kid. I love my mom, you know what I mean? I'm like, I trust her. I'm like kicking my feet, and wow, look at the boom, that bitch dropped. And I'm screaming.
You were screaming, dude. The first time I was on that shit, I couldn't even breathe.
Well, yeah, you understand.
Like your shit just contracts. Like, oh,
yo, it's not a good. I don't like that.
You can't even scream.
Yeah. So I'm crying, tears coming out my face. Right, I might be in 4th grade or something.
Yeah.
And I looked to my left, and my mom's cracking up.
Yeah.
It was traumatizing to me because I trust. You know, you trust your mom. I'm like, yeah. She's dying laughing, and from that day on, nope. She ruined it for me.
Yeah.
For real.
Heights ain't your game.
I have tried roller coasters again. I still don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going to test myself. But
yeah.
Nope, not for me. Thanks, Mom. Thanks a lot.
That's funny.
Now we got a funny story for the holidays and shit, but great.
For real.
Still laughing.
Like, was it worth it? Like,
yeah.
That's funny, man.
More funny. Man, my mom loves torturing me.
Yeah.
I'm the only kid I know that got coal for Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
Facts.
You were failing a grade?
No.
I
was a good kid.
Yeah, damn.
I was a good kid. But I swear, it's like my mom likes to torture me. We talk about it all the time. Like, I'm the only kid I know that really got coal. Who do you know that you know, they say Santa ain't going to give you gifts? Yeah, I remember being a little kid. She left some coal out and a little note from Santa that I had to read. Like, you were not good this year. You know, you're a little kid. You look up to Santa.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
That's the man.
Absolutely.
So he left me a personal note, you know, as an adult. I know it was my mom's handwriting. And my mom's sitting there like,
it's like,
read that.
Damn.
That's
what you said.
Guess you did.
Said.
Yeah, like, yo, that's fucked up. That's fucked. Matter of fact, I'm invoking some feelings. I might have to go home and beat her up.
Yeah. That's funny as hell.
I have to kick her ass when I get home.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
So, so back to like kind of the theme of like what started this kind of tirade. I asked you any match you would fight Tyson Fury. So if you could have any rematch, who would it be?
I think Miles Lee.
Miles Lee?
Any one of my losses.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I fought Miles, I had a bunch of shit going on backstage. The people who were there know.
You answered
people
that quickly, so I know you knew, like, you know about this.
I feel like I won the fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still, this far into my career, I never got punched. And even in that whole fight, watch the fight, I didn't get hit one time. If you just look at this as straight stats, it's like I got taken down one time in 15 minutes. He won the fight. I didn't gotta get hit. I was landing the better strikes. I can sit here and make the argument. I do understand why the judges make the decision that they do. But like we said in the beginning, or maybe we didn't speak on this, sometimes the rules favor wrestling.
Yeah, the amateur rule set you were saying.
Well,
yeah.
even as a
In
professional, like
Pennsylvania.
I am in my guard. In jiu-jitsu, when you have guard on your back, you're not losing. They didn't score points on you yet.
No one's in like even if like it's technically the dominant position because you're the one that can initiate the sweep.
And
right?
I think
like
if we really delved into statistics in grappling, jiu-jitsu only, we could almost make the argument that a higher percent of the majority of submissions are done off of your back. Maybe back take is probably number one.
But even that you can finish on your back.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, when guard, we're talking about guard positions, guard, back take. I think
control.
Yeah, I think there might be less finishes as submissions from mount than there is guard. There's sick ass guard players as triangling and armbarring and Kimuran and you know what I mean. So
I think you're absolutely right. There's definitely like MMA aside, in strictly jiu-jitsu, there's way less like you're finishing it from the mount versus like finishing it from closed guard. It's way more from closed guard.
Yeah, well, from submissions, there are striking. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said like now. MMA aside.
So they're scoring control, right?
Yeah.
Now, my argument to that is, if we're playing a different sport, let's play football, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're on offense, you're in control of the ball. You still have to score. So if you're going to win the fight or you're not going to win the game of football because you had the ball on offense, you still have to score. And technically, you can be scored on from the defense, even if you had it. You can have a turnover.
Right?
Yes. So at the end of the day, if there's 0-0, that's why I said there needs to be way more draws anyways. It was a split decision. I think there needs to be way more draws. But if you're not in a control position, if you're not on offense, and you're not getting yards to get a field goal or getting yards to get a touchdown, if you're not striking or to try to better your position, are you really winning the fight? Or is this we both in a neutral position and you have to judge off of a different criteria? Now in wrestling, sure, if you're on top of the person, you're winning at that point. You get back points or whatever. But in jiu-jitsu, that doesn't exist. It just does not exist. And I feel like if there was never a time limit on the fight and they just said, if they put me in a closed place with him, I'll start my guard. I promise and I swear on anybody, anything, I'm going to be the one that walks out. Like, if we had to fight to the death, from my closed guard, I'm going to be the one to win the fight.
There's so many things to do from there, too. Like, and your triangles are deadly. We've seen, I mean, how many fucking times, dude? But I agree. That's it's interesting, man. It's like it's kind of interesting, right? So like from closed guard, like what's your opinion of like a lot of these other positions, like in MMA, like we saw like Francis was playing like open guard, for instance, to try to find that knee bar, and like I remember I heard the ref like no heel hooks. And I'm laughing at it, but it's like it's interesting, man. Like from a jiu-jitsu perspective, if you're on the ground and your opponent's standing, what's like your goal? Should you be trying to stand back up? Like,
I think Francis needed to stand up.
Yeah,
right?
In that specific instance, yeah.
And when you're on guard, it's right because when I learned jiu-jitsu from like Rick McLaurie stuff, we do a lot of striking. He has a lot of creative striking from the guard.
Yeah.
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has striking from the guard. Wrapping your legs around a person, it's hands to hands. Their legs are almost out of the question now. You have a full guard. It's like you can control. Your legs and your arms are attacking their top half. It's an advantage for you. So the MMA rules say you have to get up because you're losing. So that becomes a wrestling match. You get taken down. You get scored in wrestling for getting back up to your feet. They give you a point. You don't get a point in jiu-jitsu from going to your guard to standing back up. So it does favor more of, in my opinion, a wrestling mindset.
Yeah.
And there's something I wanted to bring up because you said the knee bar. And that's why I think they don't score jiu-jitsu the same. Let's look at this theoretical. You got two strikers, right? Or just two people standing up. And the whole round, one guy drops the other one with a punch. That was the only thing that happened in the round. The guy that dropped him wins the round because why? Why is the criteria like that? He was closer to finishing the fight. He scored like that. Ryan Cafaro at the last, that was
such a close
match. Was a close fight, right? But look, he had ended the round like being mounted and getting his back taken. From my perspective, this guillotine was so tight. I forget the guy's name, Pena, I think. Took his mouthpiece out and he held it in his hands.
His opponent is Christian Milano. Maybe I'm saying the wrong one.
Is that it?
Christian Lopez.
Lopez. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I sound crazy. I called the man Pena. Sorry.
It's all good. It's like, dude, it's funny. Like, as a commentator, I totally resonate with this. Where like people ask me, like, "Oh, you saw this match?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't remember what match I saw."
The guy in the blue shorts.
Yeah, immediately, like once that match is over, I'm on to the next one.
Yeah,
like, it gets off my mind.
I'm the worst with names.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Bull took his mouthpiece out, and I'm seeing it was so tight. Now, let's look at the theoreticals. If you drop the person with a punch, you win the round because you're closer to finish.
Yeah.
There was no time in that whole fight where a fight was closer to be finished than that choke. But he was not, maybe he was, I don't know the exact scorecard, but he lost. He was not given the round because he ended in bottom mount or had his back taken. But if that were to be a punch where he got struck, it's more significant to the judge's eyes and the human's eyes. They score like striking more, a punch more than they do a submission.
Yeah.
If you were put in a submission, that should be added towards your score just like a takedown. If a guy got one takedown in a round, no, he got a takedown, he won. But what if the guy on bottom was scoring like we would score jiu-jitsu? You get advantages for submission attempts. In some tournaments, you get points for submission attempts. And if we're looking at striking, you get dropped. That was close to finishing the fight. In boxing, it would be a 10-8 if you get dropped. They scored a lot. If you get put in a tight submission that almost finishes the fight, why is that not a 10-8? You're getting choked the fuck. You're about to get, you know what I mean? It's supposed to finish the fight.
I think that first round that Francis had that knee bar, he had it. He was fighting for it for a long time. And it was a significant threat. Like, obviously, O'Toole had to respond to it and was like, an excellent defense from him.
He did it,
too.
man, that was tight.
I fucking probably would have tapped. That shit looked brutal.
I think Liam won that fight. That was fair.
Yeah.
I'm speaking specifically
the other
about
round. I'm saying the first round. That one, like, probably could have went either way.
Oh,
in
I
my
think,
opinion, because of that.
Yeah, you can make that argument that it wouldn't be 3 rounds to 1.
Yeah.
Because that was, and especially in a 2-minute fucking amateur match, you'd have to say that was the most significant thing. You should score that more than the takedown.
Yeah.
It has to be. He almost finished the fight.
Yeah.
And especially with Cafero's case, I seen it. He was choking the shit out of my dude. That dude was tough as shit. He didn't tap.
Yeah.
He probably easily could have. He ate that shit.
Yeah.
That was the closest it was to being finished in the fight. That round, I don't care how it finished. If Homeboy wasn't close to finishing Cafero, I don't care if it was in half guard, side control, mount, whatever. That should have won the round. And they don't respect jiu-jitsu enough. I don't think so as far as judges.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, man, because I asked Eddie Alvarez this as well, and he said he didn't have a good answer for it. So maybe you do. But we were talking about, like, how do you, as a judge, choose, like, what's more valuable? Like, is 5 significant strikes the same value as, like, maybe like one of these takedowns from Joey Milano, right? Yeah. Like, because he had a really excellent, like, textbook mat return on Cade. But how many punches is that worth? Right? Like,
they score damage, right?
Yeah,
I think the exact criteria goes damage, control. I don't know what the last one is, but I know it's damage is supposed to be first.
Yeah.
Like,
so if you catch a leak on your opponent, that's high damage.
That's another thing. Like, how do you judge what damage is? How do you, is it blood? Because some motherfuckers don't even bleed.
Yeah.
How do you judge damage? Or we're looking at, like, significant strikes. Because you can hit a motherfucker one time and it'd be the hardest punch. You can hit me mad hard, knock my teeth out, but I can hit you 30 times in a round. Who won?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you just had a couple 30 rib shots, right? From, like,
or anything, right?
Shit, yeah.
So who does win?
Yeah.
It's
a tough job.
Well, they need to. They need
like,
to. What they're just not. They need to write down the rules and obey it 100%. You understand? And they do need to change some. What if it is damage? I don't know. Do you judge blood or black eye or something, or do you judge body language? Like, when you get hit with a punch, some people get rocked, or some people slow down. How do you judge? Damn, I don't know. I don't think blood should be a factor.
Yeah.
To me, maybe from elbow, I guess. I don't know. Blood doesn't really stop fights. Concussions do. You know, getting your brain rattled and getting choked or getting put in arm bar, knee bar. I think those actually should be higher tier. Now that we're talking about it, I think that makes more sense than opening up the skin of a human. They're cutting somebody. So I'm not a judge. I hope that kind of answers the question a little bit. I don't know.
No, it definitely does. What's the criteria to even become a judge? Like, I don't even understand. How do you get in that position? Like, I know it's funny. Like, I know all the commentators, but I don't think I've met a single judge.
I do know some of the judges. There are some local black belts.
So they are
PA.
martial artists then. Yeah.
But I think some of them in Vegas are like old boxing judges and stuff. Like, and in different commissions. I don't know what you have to do. You maybe have to apply through the athletic commission, and they don't accept a lot of new people.
Yeah.
You might have to.
So you have to go through the commission. That's interesting. I didn't even know that was part of the process. Because refs, is that the process as well for refs?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that they have to be passed through every commission that they worked for. So some of them go through a shroud of different states. Like this isn't facts, but let's just say the WKA covers Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, I don't know, Florida. They can cover different ones. So if I'm a registered referee for the WKA, I'll cover those states. Yeah. But a lot of them have their own sanctioning commissions. Yeah. Which means they can have their own rules, their X, Y, and Z. So PA has their own. They have a select, maybe, let's say they have 10 judges. For Dan Mergliata, I would believe that he has to register as a referee, just like you're going for a job, put in a resume, whatever. Maybe take classes to be a referee here at PA.
To get like credentialed. That's interesting. I feel like in jiu-jitsu, it's just like, oh, you like have been training a while, you're a ref. Like, it seems like that's.
Oh, that's
like
in jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot less regulated. That's interesting. That's good shit though. So I'll ask one more question, like in this category here. So if you could watch any match, two competitors, who would you love to see? Like, what's your dream match to spectate?
Damn, I don't know. See, I wish you would have sent me these earlier.
I like it on the spot. Yeah. It's fresh.
I might be like one of the worst fans of MMA and shit. Yeah. I don't know. I love everybody. I love all the fighters because I think of things more logical than emotional in general in life and looking at MMA. So it's I am a fan of some people, but I love all the fighters, even the asshole ones, because I just respect their work. Yeah. So who would be?
Yeah, like let me ask this before. Like, I'll give you time to think while you say this, while you answer this question. What do you think about Sean Strickland? Like, he's kind of
sometimes he's cringy.
Yeah,
he's a good fighter.
Yeah, but he has like a crazy upbringing too, like similar kind of like to some of the things you were saying earlier. And he talks about it a lot, like pretty frequently, about like having like a super rough upbringing and that affecting his life in the sense that put him into a path where he ended up like making it so that's what he was predisposed to be, was a fighter, right? Yeah. Like even like Mayhem Miller, right? Like,
I love that dude. Yeah, he's crazy as shit. Yeah, but I do love Mayhem Miller. Yeah, I'm more biased. I met him as a child when I was a kid. He did a seminar in my school.
That's awesome.
I had the red strip in my hair, all that shit.
That's great, yo. I probably started getting interested more in martial arts because I watched like WWE with my brother, and he used to powerbomb me and break my mom's couch and shit when I was a kid. But really what made me like want to be a fighter was watching Bully Beatdown. Yeah.
This is before Bully Beatdown. Yeah. So maybe when he was in Pride, was it, or Dream?
I think so.
Pride and Dream. So I met him even before, when he was even younger. Yeah. But yeah, I love Mayhem. Yeah. And Strickland, you can tell he has he probably has experienced trauma because he got different social skills than everybody. Social intelligence, speaks differently. Yeah. Motherfucker can fight. Yeah. He's nuts.
Heavy hands.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, he's like, I want to be the first person to kill somebody in a ring. And that bit me the wrong way. I was like, damn, bro, you kind of fucked up. You're crazy. But that's what the common viewers like. They like a wild ass motherfucker. Yeah. Like I don't know, normal fans, they love that shit. Yeah. I'd see it more logical. I'm looking at the technique and X, Y, and Z. So I do respect him a lot for that.
What I have his win over Adesanya was pretty wild.
Nasty. Yeah. Would I have a coffee with him? Maybe. Would I like hang out with him every day? I don't know.
Yeah, it'd probably wear on me.
Yeah. I feel like he was the type, like, I talked about this, right? I said, yo, if I'm on Ultimate Fighter, I was like, yo, what if I got like Strickland as my coach? Yeah. You know what I mean?
That'd be funny.
I'm like, who be my coaches? What if I get Strickland? He gonna be like, yo, pussies, we're sparring every day.
Every day.
Come on, pussies, we're sparring again. You know what I mean? I'd be like, damn, I wanted to learn some technique. I'm trying to get with these coaches. Like,
that's funny as shit, yo.
It would be a different experience than anybody ever experienced, but then again, I'd be like, that'd be exhausting.
No doubt.
But dream fight, I don't know if I have one, bud. I don't know. I just want to see good technique from I don't really care who wins or loses in fights sometimes. I just want it to be amazing, entertaining, like break the mold. I just want to keep seeing the sport grow. You feel me? I'm not the biggest fan. I watch all the UFCs and shit. When I was a kid, I used to be a big Nate Diaz fan. I would like fighters and stuff. Now I just want to see I want to see people get better, martial arts get better.
Yeah. Oh, you're a Nate Diaz fan. What about the McGregor fight?
I remember watching that live. I was like, I told y'all. I was snapping. You know what I mean?
You favor him over McGregor?
Yeah. I was posting it on Facebook and shit. So that looks good. I look at my memories.
I was in the bar with my friend. I remember when Nate won, we stood up on the table. USA, USA. No one got in on it because everyone in there wanted McGregor to win. I'm like, fuck y'all.
I watched it at like a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, dude. Yep. It was like a sports bar. And,
all them fans was like, Connor. Yeah. So I was like,
none of them even train, bro. None of them, like everyone that wanted Connor to win don't even train. It was like all the people that train wanted Nate to win.
At the end of the day, it was like 170.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit though. Yeah. I think Nate even won the second fight.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm glad he did win. And all respect to Connor. I like all them dudes, but at that time I was a big ass fan. Yeah. So. But I like everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. I feel that. Well, it's approaching like 4 o'clock. I think we've been going pretty good.
Yeah, I like
for
talking.
A couple hours. Yeah.
I'll talk all day.
I'll definitely have you back on. We'll have to. We're gonna next time you come, I'm gonna hook the TV up. We're gonna have some games ready so we can talk shit while we give each other some hands.
Yo, that's what I'm good at. Yeah. So you might be better at Smash, but I'm gonna be talking that shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in your head.
Yeah.
For real.
I'm gonna pick random and beat your ass with somebody.
Damn. All right, then I'm gonna start playing. Which one are we playing? I gotta practice.
Yeah, the newest one. I'll let you borrow a GameCube controller. But give the fans out here any words of wisdom or like final thoughts before we move into the new year, man. It's a new year. 2024 is gonna be bringing great things to BJJ and MMA. Hopefully, Art of War's going to Valley Forge for a 4 show contract, I believe is what Mike told me, which is awesome.
Yeah, they love it there.
Excited,
it's good, man. It's a good venue.
When are you going back into the Art of War cage?
I'm waiting for the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. Oh, so you're pretty much targeting that. Yep.
Something I didn't get to talk about is, and I kind of ended on this note. I do plan on opening up a new school soon.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Where at?
It's still in Delaware.
Okay.
And we're projected to open up around February. Huge new facility, much bigger upgrade than the place that I'm at.
What's the name?
Gentlemen's Jiu-Jitsu Muay Thai.
Gentlemen's Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to throw some information in the description once you get
it.
Let me know.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping it hush, but, I signed a big lease. I've already purchased mats. Place getting built. Now it's
what kind of mats? What brand?
Tiffin. It's a very local company.
I thought you were going to say zebra mats. I'm like, damn.
No.
I'm about to chew up your top of your... Look at this.
Oh, tore him up. Yeah, I went with a local company. It's easier to go pick up. I could go into the place and pick this.
That's cool.
Do that. So, I went with local. So, yeah, we're projected to open up in February. Might be earlier.
Yeah.
It's just because the construction is being made. We're going to have women's, men, locker rooms, bathrooms, showers, water fountains, everything. That's
amazing.
Like, we're going to be top of the line. I want to give students in the state of Delaware a facility that they never had before. And on top of that, I think that I'm the best instructor. I think I have the most experience from any instructor in Delaware.
That's crazy that you're a pro fighter and a head instructor, dude. Because I feel like most dudes say they can't be teaching when they're in a camp and shit.
Yeah, I do have some people to help.
That's rare. It's actually very rare.
I do have people to help, but the argument my other instructor Tim Williams makes is sometimes it helps me see the game better. When you have to elaborate, there's different types of intelligence. You can look at an armbar, right, and know what it is. Then you can perform and do an armbar. And the highest thing of intelligence, you were able to teach an armbar. So that means you would have to know the ins and outs, the escapes, and you're able to teach that. So it kind of does enlighten my jiu-jitsu game. But it does take time too. But I love it. I think I'm a better instructor than I am a fighter. Just because of the mindset that I have, my ability to pass on information to people. I love it. I really do. More than fighting. Fighting is fucking hard as shit.
Yeah.
Some people, I hate teaching kids, and man, that's just easy.
Yeah.
And that means more to me. I trade in that Art of War title if it means I can raise a kid to be successful or to change a kid's life the way it impacted mine.
Yeah.
That's facts.
That's amazing, man. Well, that's an excellent note to end it on. Make sure you guys check out Gentleman Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai in Delaware. I'm gonna definitely share it once you throw some posts out there.
Yeah, this is the most public thing I've ever said it on. So
yeah.
I'm giving you the gems.
Yeah, dude, for sure. All right, y'all. Well, peace. Thanks again, Trouble, for coming on the show.
Dude. Yes, sir.